Be cool, be kind, be classy. The cupcakes are sweet and sexy. Have fun and enjoy the journey. Just have a good attorney. No big whoop, no biggie. She lives near New York City. Not just a YouTube show. When you know, you better grab a straw. Learn about the law. It's cool here in the shade, sipping motions of lemonade. Cool heads will prevail, kindness will never fail. Be classy and vastly wise. Oh, Melanie Little is going live. Oh no, where is Melanie? Follow the island's melody. Is a concert within reach. No surprise, she's at Jones Beach. She heard some music far away. Captain Jack Stack Harbor Bay. He sings and his piano plays. Not all sounds are waterways. Speaking Yiddish and Latin, it's not just for Manhattan. It's for Goethe and Machegas. Ridiculous that insanus. Oy vey, Marcus. Proset, that's for schmucks. Be cool, be kind, be classy. My cupcakes are sweet and sassy. Not just a YouTube show. When you know. Cool heads will prevail. Kindness will never fail. Be classy and vastly wise. Melanie Little is going live.
Good morning. Good morning, my friends. I don't know. Something's wrong with my camera. I'm having technical difficulties. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? This apparently, so I was going to cancel the stream, but I saw you guys were waiting. So we're here. Good morning. This is going to be audio only, apparently. And I am not, as you know, technologically very savvy. So what I need to do is call this number and then put in a code. And so I know that some of you guys are way more technologically advanced than I am. If I use, because I have a Mac, a MacBook and an iPhone, if I do like a FaceTime call, audio only, through my laptop, I don't know if there's a way that I can broadcast that call onto this stream. So that's, I know technology is great until it's not. I know, it's like ridiculous. So if there's a way to do that, I'm going to try and do it, but I don't know any other way that I can do that. In the meantime, well, let me try. You know what? I'm going to do a test. Let's do a test. Let me see if I can get it to work, and then at least we could listen to the audio. Words aren't enough today. No, it's not a Zoom. It's just you have to call a phone number, and then 867-530-99. Sarah, I sent you an email, by the way. Check your email. Also, I am not that technologically savvy either, but let me see if I can figure this out and get it to share the audio, because you know what happened. All right, hang on. Oh, now I got to find the password. 1 second. Where did I put that password? If I get this done, this is going to be like amazing, because I'm going to be so proud of myself. All right, let's see password. Thank you. All right. 690. Melanie. All right, it says the leader has not activated the conference. All right, so, I suppose I could, all right, now can I share this audio? Let's see if it'll work. I know. I heard they never answer that's what Will said. Will said they never answer the phone, but it says that there's 4 people in the conference, including me. So let's see. Like, can you guys hear that? It's not WebEx, it's a phone number. You can hear it? I know, right, Tinkerbell? All right, you could hear it? All right, so I'm just going to keep it over here, and then if they turn it on, or you know what, maybe I'll get my other earbud. I am cooking with gas. Let's see what they're doing outside the courthouse. We'll put that on for a sec.
Watch this move.
Let me find my other headphones. I know it's stupid hold music, but you know, we're gonna do the best we can today. You can still hear me too, right? Court was moved to 9:30, Josephine says. How do you know?
This is obviously something I can never imagine in my life. Standing in front of a courthouse next to Grant.
Yeah. On your bingo list, isn't it?
Bumped it till 9:30. All right, good. So we can
of all things, of all people. I know you.
End that call and we can try back at 9:30. Okay, how's that?
Thanks for saving my spot.
And you know, your girl's not camera ready today, so you're not
talking to the court officers, the guys that are here all the time.
I did just see that they just had Grant on, Scott. Let me rewind that a little bit. Which this is pretty funny. So you know, we got to see this. I think that's Scott McGinnis, right? Scott McGinnis. This is Tom CPU apparently has a new channel with Boston Mike. This is called Seeking Justice with Tommy and Boston Mike. But they ran into Grant Smith Ellis outside the courthouse. So here we go.
What's he yapping about?
I don't really listen to him that much.
Come on, drive, people. Drive forward. Come on. Gas is on the right.
It sounds like me driving, yelling at everyone. This is a stream to a stream. I'm showing you what's going on outside the courthouse right now.
They didn't tell you what party is going to be late?
No, all they said was you can go in the courtroom 1 minute opens, but that matter may be late because one of the attorneys is running late, which is pretty standard. It's happened a few times.
Yeah, it's rainy. There's traffic.
Did you know that there's the retirement dinner for Brian Albert?
Yeah, I saw something about retirement function.
I don't think he'll show up to his own party. The more I think about it, I would be so embarrassed if I was him. Everyone would be looking at you like you're the reason. I mean, he can't have any support.
You would not think so, yes.
No. All right, somebody got moved to the second calling at 9:30, so we're good. We're good. Watch this move.
This is what's happening outside the courthouse right now. Or it's a little bit delayed because the hearing was pushed to 9:30.
This is obviously something I can never imagine in my life. standing in front of a courthouse next to Grant.
Yeah. On your bingo list, isn't it? The bingo card. Of all things, of all people. I know you. So, thanks for saving my spot. Talking to the court officers, the guys that are here all the time. So, guys, I'll give you guys a quick peek. Watch this. Can somebody make me big real quick? My screen. I don't mean my height. Yeah.
Picture Cherry running with that line.
Yeah, so in case you're not aware, because you're not on the cesspool Twitter, the cesspool of Twitter, apparently Brian Albert is supposed to have some sort of retirement party tomorrow, along with a number of other, I guess, police officers that are retiring, and somebody completely doxed it and put like the information out on social somewhere, like the address and what time it is, and I'm not... That's not something that I would do. I don't think that that's a really great idea at all. So, there's that. These guys are live, so we're going to, if they have anything interesting to say or if they get anything interesting shots. Apparently, the hearing's been pushed to 9:30. It's going to be only audio, so we're going to have to deal with that somehow. I'm going to have to put it on my speakerphone, just like the good old days. It's like a party line. And then I'm going to have to just hold my speakerphone up to the mic. So, here's Grande. Let's see what he's got to say.
Tom's here, so I'm going to end this link.
That was pretty good.
The whole discussion, and they hammered both sides. But my point is, I was constructively saying the precedent is interesting.
It is, isn't it? And that's why, I watch that stuff. It's like, watch the C-SPAN.
I saw your
Remember
comments.
that? Yeah.
You were like listening to what the judges are saying. So my point is, I was being helpful.
Oh, appreciate that. So, listen, what's up with Tully losing 6 days?
Doesn't make sense that they would announce he loses 6 days, but he's been transferred out of the office. My only conclusion is there's 2 IA investigations or more, and the one related to Karen Reed resulted in 6 days, but there's other ongoing ones.
Oh, I get it. So they just popped him for that one now, and they'll get him on the other ones later.
Because he was transferred because of
The other stuff.
They would have said it in the letter.
But it seemed like from the letter that they only got him on the, I guess, with the employee evaluations were not, that's what they gigged him on.
There was a Class B offense and a Class C offense.
Right.
They were both related to that. I think that's all, but 6 days is not transferred out of department.
Right.
So clearly that punishment was not related to whatever that 6 days was.
All right, I'll agree with that. So those 6 days he lost, right? That's just the total. That would not get you removed from the department as he was. Something else had to.
That's my analysis. And I also think if him being removed from the department was part of that, he would have said it in the letter. The discipline letter.
Okay, so you're saying that letter was just for that one specific type of thing. Okay, I can see that. But when you have Tully, right, and you have Proctor, and we don't know about Fanning. He said he was on vacation and didn't open his text messages or something, right?
Well, Fanning, I think, also might have a role in whatever's being looked into about.
Yeah, that was a crock.
They're all connected, right? Where's his 6 days missing, right? What did Buchanan lose? Did he lose days?
I think someone has a chart, Channel 5, Channel 7.
Hey, Jonathan. Yeah, there was never going to be a Zoom. This is district court. It's a call-in phone number. And when I did call in, I did get through, and there were 4 other people on the call. But now I heard it's been pushed to 9:30. So we are going to, I don't know if this is at Dedham District Court, Jonathan. So if you have that, if that information pertains to Dedham District, then you let me know. Otherwise, when I did call the call-in number, like the old school conference call days, it said there were 4 other callers. So what I was going to do is just broadcast the audio. Is it because of the rain or because they just got Wi-Fi about a week before Karen Reed's trial started? So let me know. We are standing by. We are watching Tom CPU actually be very kind to Grant Smith Ellis outside of the courthouse, and I'm really impressed with the way these two gentlemen are getting along. Nobody's throwing hands. Nobody's being mean to each other. Is this a turning point? I don't know, but I'm here for it. Let's listen to more.
Yeah. So when you have them three people that we know of that are bad in one murder case, that's questionable.
Right, but
Doesn't that make you pause for the whole thing?
what it makes me realize is Karen wanted to, whether or not Karen accidentally hit John, we can argue about that all day. You know how I feel.
Right.
She still wanted to get a message out to the public that, listen, like, I stumbled onto some shit within this office that's really weird. That's what I think Karen's been doing this whole time. She just wants people to know that this office is weird. She's
Okay.
not wrong.
No, she isn't. She definitely isn't wrong if that's the case. Right? Who's this? No.
I don't
Well,
think,
it's
Nancy, I don't
already-
think there's any cameras in district court ever. There's cameras in Superior. They usually have Zoom. But for district court, this is call-in only. And that is why. This has to do with his case against Lindsay. I think this is something like a violation of a restraining order. There's so many cases here, I can't keep them straight. And I know that Kate Peter is also in court today in a different, and I think that's in a different courtroom. And I think that has to do, it's in the same courthouse, different courtroom maybe. And that has to do with Turtleboy's restraining order against her, Mass Hall Mafia, Kate Peter. So we're here for all of it.
So 9:30. Yeah. So let me think about that now.
Yeah, Yuri
Yeah.
lost 5 days and Tully lost 1 extra day.
What
6 days.
if she didn't though?
But that's
If she didn't though, let's think about what if she didn't.
it's not relevant to that. It's more relevant to what evidence can come in at her retrial based on prosecutorial misconduct and all that stuff.
Right.
I think a lot of this stuff comes in. If you remember,
What if you bring what if you bring that as evidence into the court as to how bad they're really trying to railroad the
that's not how
girl?
it plays out. How it plays out is the remedy for prosecutorial misconduct on this, the exclusionary rule.
Okay.
You have to realize Tully and Proctor, all they do is compile a lot of this stuff. It's not like that's the stuff that really goes to the heart of what she did. It's more like the vehicle data, this new like rechip, all that. So that stuff comes in no matter what the police did.
Right.
So you can't, the two things are separate. But I think your bigger question is, will some of these state troopers make it with their careers after Karen's second trial ends, however it comes out?
Right.
And the answer is no.
Yeah. So you don't see Fanning and Buchanan and Tully and Proctor ever being police officers or state police officers again after the trial?
I think those all are independent questions because you have to look, the Birchmore thing may have involved some of them and not others, and I think that's way more serious.
Yep. So it's double homicide. Of course it is. Yeah.
Well, and
I mean, that's
someone-
the start of it all too.
Someone signed off on that police report saying it was a suicide when they had video evidence of Farwell at Birchmore's apartment on Friday.
Right. Of all things, right? They did have video evidence of it, right? And they still didn't do anything about it. Of all things, here's a video of what happened, but throw it out.
They just have signed off on a police report saying it was a suicide despite having that evidence. So I really think something's very wrong there.
That's crazy.
You can also see why that would mean the U.S. Attorney's Office would be thankful to Karen. The Birchmore investigation didn't start until August of 2023. So they have to be like, oh, Karen, you helped us figure this out. So they would be grateful to her.
What do you think about the ACA guys?
I think that was part of the U.S. Attorney's Office saying thank you for helping us look more into the MSP. So we'll give you some help with the grand jury into your case. I don't think it panned out. That's why she went to trial. That was their thank you.
Okay. Okay. I'll buy that. Maybe a little bit. But what if the U.S. Attorney's Office did it in the pursuit of justice?
I think
Then at that, there's no price. It doesn't matter. Like, you do everything you possibly can if it's right.
everything's political.
Well, yeah, talk about a slam dunk, man. You get all the money in the world, blank check, and you do this, you get reelected. And the cost of doing your job.
Attorney's Office could have gone into the trying to figure out the truth.
Yeah.
And they realized that they didn't get anything about Aaron and John, but they got other stuff. And so they were like, okay, Aaron, pro for you. Here's a
Yeah, but that's a quick pro quo. You can't.
No, it's not a quick.
No? You do this, I do that?
No, it's more like our investigation led us to this. You are a resource in our investigation.
All right, so I got a question. Say a jury comes back and finds Karen innocent.
Not
No, just follow me out here, right? Follow me out.
quickly on all you're asking.
Completely walk away scot-free. Sorry we bothered you. We were wrong. Whatever. She's innocent at the end of the day. But whatever. Would you say? Would you apologize to her at that point? If that's what the jury did.
Conditional.
Okay. I'm saying that they're all thrown out. Completely.
But I'm answering you this way.
Right.
Huh.
Person did things the other way. If she were to get convicted on any count.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, of course.
All right.
Wow. I mean, he's always polite, which throws them off. This is very interesting to me. So it's Tom CPU interacting with Grant Smith Ellis outside the courthouse. This wasn't on my bingo
Oh,
card
it's
today
November
either, you guys,
police
but
report.
I gotta say, I'm
The November
impressed.
police report?
It just got filed over there.
Which one?
It just came out.
For what?
I don't know what it is.
Listen, Grant, I mean, throw a dartboard. Is it on this one, that one, this one, that one, or that? Or
It's November 2nd, filed related to Karen's case. I don't know who, I can tell you wrote it or something.
November 2nd?
2024.
I can go over there and get a copy of it?
You go over there and get the notice of discovery. But it doesn't have the police report.
Where do you get the police report?
I don't know. The state police report.
Well, what do you know what it says?
No, but then there was a letter sent to Karen yesterday. About this, I think about that report.
No.
No, look,
He just
Okay,
cut out.
I'll listen.
1 month ago, right, when those, I didn't get those child laws till recently, but
Yeah. But listen, that's third party hearsay, not relevant stuff.
but the point is they can read
Let me discuss the law, you guys, huh?
here 2024 when those chats were.
Yeah. Right.
So if this
Grant, if they went and they went a couple times to try and get indictments and they didn't get it,
no, you
in the
can vote as many
past-
times as you want.
don't you think they'd give up after a point? Like they already went to that well.
No, you can vote as many times as you want, especially if these chat logs were after the fact.
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying a Facebook thing's gonna get someone convicted or indicted.
It's
I don't
Grant.
see
I'm
it.
not saying that, but look at the timing. What would there be a police? The Ducky thing was already done by November.
But
So what would their police report be about in November of 2024?
all sorts of stuff. All sorts of stuff came out
About Karen?
about Karen.
That's what I'm saying. Why would there be a November?
Well, that can be her attorneys filing a brief or something.
I don't know what Google Voice is, Mary. What is Google Voice? Do I have to download an app or something? I mean, I'm not really very smart. I'll Google it. A voice number works on, so you have to sign in and you gotta set it up. It's like a whole thing, right? I mean, do I have to pay for it? What, how does this work? I'm just gonna put it on my cell phone and put the speaker on and hang it next to the, I mean, hold it next to the microphone. Case was canceled. Okay. Okay. Thanks, Suze. Are you there? Are you boots on the ground? A violation of the LG. Okay. Curious. Today is the pretrial hearing for the trial of Turtleboy breaking the restraining order when he left the court after Lindsay went in. All the way back during the Karen Reed trial when allegedly John O'Keefe didn't really invite her, but she showed up. I mean, Paul O'Keefe didn't really invite her, but she thought she was invited. Okay. The Stone case was. Yeah, but this one's dial-in, and I know that because Suze has a spreadsheet, and I have the spreadsheet, and that's the thing. That's the thing. Boston 25. Flash information. Was it good? Was it good stuff? Yes. Yes. Somebody sent me this. Brian Camp. This is crazy. This is the crazy story. Do you guys know about Brian Camp? Because maybe we'll do that today. Holy crap. This kid is on trial. He's like 23, 24 years old. And some guy broke into their house who was like a guy that works with his live-in girlfriend. They have kids together, I think. And the guy had a knife on him and something else. And the kid shot the guy and killed him, and he's on trial right now. I mean, it's a clear stuff. In New York, if somebody breaks in your house to rob you, you're allowed to use deadly force. And it's kind of crazy. And somebody said, was it you, Chris, that sent this to me yesterday? And I started watching like the openings. It's like 2 days into this trial. Anybody know about it? Oh, the flash drive was nothing, huh? Suze was at that hearing on 226. Lindsay strutted in and Aidan and Meredith left immediately. I remember that. They were told to leave, right? Lindsay says that Aidan was yelling at her from across the street. You couldn't hear someone 10 feet away. OMG. Oh, it was Elizabeth that emailed it to me. Thank you, Elizabeth. Oh, yeah. This is when KP called the courthouse. Yep. I remember. I mean, do we care what he has
Interesting.
to say?
Karen's expert got to do the chip off the first trial. We all agree on that.
No, she did not.
Yes,
No.
yes, no, look it up, Tom. The Karen's expert did the chip off on the infotainment.
No.
Yes, it was in the file. It's in
Karen's expert was allowed to be there.
No, she was allowed to actually do the chip off.
I don't believe it.
Okay, but just tell
All right.
It's true. She did. The expert did the chip up. Yeah, my camera's on, Lori, but I have absolutely zero makeup on. So you get what you get and you don't get upset. It's too early for this for me. Hold on. I didn't have a chance to get ready this morning.
in the motion.
Go ahead.
So now this time what they're saying is we want to rerun the chip off on the infotainment center.
Yes.
Confirm that the first chip that was read was valid.
Okay.
That's the MD5 checksum thing.
Yes.
Then
Yes.
the other two chips, we want to see if we can recompile the data on them.
Okay. Now,
That's what's the debate.
okay. Can I tell you something, Grant?
Go ahead.
Probably don't know.
I'm listening.
Stephanie Travis Hunter's going to win the Heisman. I was at the game on Saturday and I got a jersey. Got a jersey on the street from a guy, and it's a good Travis Hunter jersey, like official Nike tags and everything. Sewn on letters, $60. I'm stoked because it was sold out everywhere.
My company does all the IT for a Lexus dealership, bud.
Okay. And Nathan Reed works for a Lexus dealership.
Right.
You think he'd know a lot too?
He's a salesman, bud.
Okay.
I do the back end. When you drive,
How's he? How's Nathan Reed getting how to do a chip off? That's so ridiculous. So ridiculous.
your car into it, if you buy a brand new Lexus
Yeah.
and you drive your car in, the Lexus is talking to the access point I put in the ceiling.
Sure.
You don't gotta touch nothing.
Tell me about this infotainment system.
That software
Yes.
can pull all the data out of the vehicle.
Great. So I'm talking about these three chips.
If there's a problem, a 200 key cycle, call it 300 key cycles, back and forth, will mess the data up.
Sure. We're talking
That
about
will
the
be
first
a
one now.
technical bulletin
Right.
released by Lexus.
Which-
We're saying that we can duplicate this problem. If you turn the key on and off, 40, 50, 100, 200, whatever times, this will result. I can get you any technical document from Lexus
Sure.
that will prove or disprove what you're trying to say.
Sure. But there's,
Okay.
there's a second thing, too,
Okay?
which is so that's the first issue.
Yes.
Which we can talk about whether they.
But I know that is fact.
Okay. We can. Well, what you're saying is fact is they haven't issued a bulletin. But whether
There's been nothing issued about that.
Whether they know about this, whether a lot of people are.
Lexus?
To,
You're telling me friggin' Garino's smarter than Lexus?
No, we're talking about different things. We're talking about whether someone manually took a key,
Yes.
went into the Lexus before the state police got it, and turned it 200 times.
You help us?
No, I'm good.
All right.
But Tom, let me make one more point.
Yeah.
That is separate, and you can tell me about this.
Yeah.
And the infotainment system.
Correct.
is completely
That-
separate.
Yes, I'm talking key cycle.
But let's talk about the.
Now, let's talk about that data.
Now, tell me about the chip off of a Lexus infotainment system from a 2021 LS or
All right.
LX 450.
Can I give you a little, do you know my background in any way by any chance?
You
I
told me
don't.
about computer science, but so I'm asking you a very
So-
specific question.
As for chip offs,
For that
I've actually been able to take a chip off of a board.
from an infotainment system,
No. I've been able to take a computer chip off of a board
by desoldering it,
and then hooking it up to a spider board
sure.
and then pulling and retrieving the data off as if it was working on the board. I've done that in the past.
Sure.
So I know what is entailed for doing that.
Right, but I'm asking you a more specific question.
The Lexus chip, have I done a Lexus chip off a Lexus board? No.
No, I'm asking you about whether your knowledge of this board, right?
Yes.
This LX 450.
Yes.
I can't. I'm sorry. This is giving me a headache. It's too early. Yeah, we know it's at 9:30. Thank you, Carol. Thank you so much. We're gonna but it's audio only, and I'm gonna try and call in, and then I'm gonna try and I'm gonna try and Bubs. No, Grant is right for once. For once. Yes, Maureen. They're saying that the second shot was not necessary here. Let's say goodbye to Grant for a minute. Let's look at this. This is interesting to me. We're gonna try and call it at 9:30. We're gonna see if it works. So I gotta share this with you. Come on up. All right, this is in Northampton, Massachusetts, or Northampton. I don't know. You guys have a thing with your H's where you don't really pronounce them. So is it Northampton or Northampton? I'm not sure. But in any event, there's a 24-year-old named Brian Camp. And I will read this to you for those of you who need a little ASMR this morning. We are waiting. The hearing's been pushed to 9:30. It's going to be audio only. We have my off camera, one of my paralegals, my behind the scenes paralegals tells me that the Dedham District Court system might not be working today. So we're going to do the best we can to get audio only. Here we go. This is a different case that Elizabeth, one of my amazing viewers, pointed out to me yesterday. And she said, you got to look into this because nobody's covering this. Nobody even knows about it. It's already like day 3 of the trial. So there's a Northampton, whatever. You guys will tell me how to pronounce it. A Massachusetts man is standing trial for the shooting death of his girlfriend's ex-boyfriend. Brian Camp, 24, is charged with manslaughter for the death of Johnathan Letendre, 27. According to testimony, Letendre broke into the home Camp shared with his girlfriend and their 2 children on December 27th of 2022 and attacked Camp as he slept. Brooke Janik's 911 call captured a nearly 20-minute physical confrontation or altercation between Camp and Letendre. In the call, played in court, Janik is hysterical as she describes the 2 men fighting, and the first gunshot is heard. Approximately 8.5 minutes later, a second shot is recorded. In their opening statements, prosecutors said that Camp's first shot was legally self-defense, but argued that the second shot was unnecessary and more force than reasonably needed to defend himself. Camp's defense argued Letendre was still a threat and moving when the second shot was fired. A medical examiner testified to recovering handcuffs from Letendre's pocket during an autopsy. So this guy who broke into their house had handcuffs in his pocket and a knife in his jacket that was found at the scene in the days after the shooting. An investigation revealed that Janik and Letendre, who worked together, briefly dated while she was separated from Camp earlier that year. Janik ultimately ended her relationship with Letendre to get back together with Camp. Court documents detail text messages Janik received from Letendre that reveal he was upset about their breakup. Camp has pleaded not guilty. He's been out on bond while awaiting trial. So I guess today is day 3. Day 1 of this trial, which would have been Tuesday. Yeah, right. If you don't want to be shot, don't bring it to people's houses. Day 1, which was Tuesday. Brian Camp's defense claims the defendant acted in self-defense when he killed Johnathan Letendre after he broke into Camp's home. Following a physical altercation, Camp shot Letendre twice. However, there were 8.5 minutes between shots. Prosecutors argue that after Camp lawfully shot Letendre in self-defense, he then took the law into his own hands and, out of retaliation or revenge, shot Letendre in the head minutes later. And then we can watch the opening statements if this hearing doesn't move forward or if we can't get in. Jurors heard Brooke Janik's roughly 20-minute 911 call. In the call, Camp and Letendre are heard fighting in the background. Jurors were shown police body cam video of Camp at his home after the shooting. I wonder, was this MSP? Because they've got body cam now, I guess. A portion of Brian Camp's interview with police was played. In the interview, Camp said he awoke to Janik screaming and a guy standing in the doorway of their bedroom before Letendre attacked him. Here's your Massachusetts people. Maureen Francis, good morning, says our justice system seems to protect the criminals, not the victims. So this is interesting. What county is this, you guys? Is Northampton a county? Then it says on day 2, which was just yesterday, the jury has shown the remainder of Camp's first police interview recorded hours after the shooting. Camp said he expected the intruder, later identified as Letendre, to run out of the house. Camp said after the shooting, he put his gun on the railing and went upstairs to put on clothes. Camp said both shots were fired before he put on clothes. At the time of the interview, he said he had no idea who Letendre was or his connection to Janik. Sergeant Michael O'Brien testified in the days after the scene was processed, they were contacted about a jacket found in the house belonging to Letendre. Inside the jacket was a knife. The jury has shown multiple crime scene photos of the home, mapping out the physical altercation between Camp and Letendre, including a broken shotgun in the kitchen and bloodstains in the bedroom. Sergeant O'Brien testified that handcuffs were recovered from Letendre's pocket during the autopsy. It's Hampshire County. Thank you, Keith. Forensic pathologist Dr. Andrew Elin, who conducted Letendre's autopsy, said he had a gunshot wound to the head and torso and numerous lacerations. Letendre's toxicology test was negative for drugs or alcohol. Dr. Elin said the cause of death was gunshot wounds to the head and torso and multiple blunt force injuries. I mean, this looks to me like an interesting case that I don't know that anybody's covering other than Court TV. If you know about it, let me know. Let me know if you're interested in it. I don't know if the entire thing is being shown live or if they're just showing portions of it, but I'm here for you guys. So whatever you want. All right, this still says it's allegedly going to happen at 9:30. So let me try and call into it again. I don't know what Google Voice is. I don't know what Google Voice is, you guys. I'm not, you know me. I can barely get the camera working in the morning. Oh. Per my paralegal Johnathan, one of my paralegals, he says the system in this is Dedham District Court is not working today, but gonna give it the old college try. Yeah, I do use Skype, but I don't know if it's like updated. Can I use Skype with just like a voice call? I mean, I suppose I could try that. Google Voice gives you a computer telephone number where you can call and put it on speaker. I guess I could do that on my phone though too, right? Does Zoom allow you to do outgoing calls? That's a great point. Let's say. Let's see. I don't know. Let's see. You tell me. How would I be able to make an outgoing call here? So if I go to join, it just gives me oh wait. Let's say I can make a phone number. No. I need a tech person. I need a tech person. No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, Sarah. Thank you. I'm just gonna call. I'm gonna be old school. I'm gonna call on my phone. All right, take that away. Take that away. Let's see. I'm gonna give it the old college try. Hold, please. 690. Melanie. All right, I think I'm muted. I mean, they're giving me some nice Can you hear that? You can hear it? Okay. I'm just going to keep this headphone on. And if anything happens, I'll take it back off. All right, that is hilarious. Melissa says, I must watch your channel a lot. My 6-year-old twins and 7-year-old know most of the words to your intro. I had no idea until they were living their best life singing along and dancing. I love that. I love that, Melissa, all the way from Australia. I have twins also. Mothers of twins are very, very special, aren't we? God bless you. And thank you so much for your morning super chat. On top, thanks for the super sticker. Hi, Coffee Cake. Thanks for becoming a member. Mary, are you doing it off your phone? You could try Google Voice to stream the audio through there on your computer. It's free for personal use, but do I have to like set something up and stuff? I mean, I could try and do it. Try and do it real quick. It says, oh, it just said your leader has not yet arrived. Please try your call again later. Take me to your leader. 953. Your leader has not yet arrived. Please try your call again later. It's like when you used to get the busy signal. There's 3,200 of you here. Let's all hit the old like button. This hearing has been pushed to 9:30, so we are waiting, and we don't even know if their system's going to be working today. But we're here for it. We're going to try. And then they just cut me off because they said our leader did not arrive yet. Our leader has not arrived, but your leader is here, but the leader of the Dedham District Court is not there. So we'll give it another try in about 5 minutes. Thank you, Mary. Kelly, what happens when none of the MSP can testify in trial too? They're just going to have other people testify, just like they did in the first one. Then Buchanan's going to say, well, you know, Proctor was my co-lead, but I really am the one who did everything, and I was with him all the time, so I'm just going to testify as to what he did. Even though, remember, he testified he couldn't even tell his handwriting. He didn't even know what his handwriting looked like. And then, of course, the defense can call them and they can question them about, you know, what their status is with the MSP and whether they've been disciplined and whether they've been fired or whether they're, you know, AWOL without pay or anything like that. Hi, Lizzie. Thanks so much for your super sticker. I appreciate you so much. Private info. Thanks for the 50. Look at you. Thank you so much. Hi, my blue-eyed vixen. Quick FYI. Massachusetts, we do have a castle doctrine, but there's 2 conditions that must be met. Massachusetts does not have a stand your ground law. Instead, you have a duty to retreat before using deadly force. Okay, so that's similar to some other states. I don't believe we have a duty to retreat in New York if it's in your own home. You do not have a duty to retreat in your own home in New York. That is the difference. So that's why this Brian Camp case, I think, is a very interesting case, because it's got interesting questions of law. And thank you so much for your super generous super chat. And look at Yuri's math teacher gifting 5 memberships. Welcome, welcome to all of my new members today. We've had quite a few. So that's awesome. All right, so we can do Google Voice Web. Let's try it. Let's try it. Why does it say my account's not ready for Google Voice yet? Why not? Oh, for the love of the traveling Mary. I don't know. It's a whole thing. I got to go to I am the administrator. I got to find my administrator. I got to set up an account. I mean, if it's going to work, it's going to work on the cell phone too. So we're going to try it. Snowing in Michigan, huh? Exactly. Something is so funny, Auntie Bev. Why was the police response so slow that there could even be 8 minutes in between shots? Yeah. I mean, I have questions about that too. Oh, I don't know what's happening outside the courthouse now. There's like a fire truck coming. I don't know. If you guys get any updates, you let me know. It's supposed to start at 9:30, but they're having problems with the system, so we may not be able to broadcast it. Welcome, not that Auntie Bev, formerly Beverly Knights, who became a member. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, it's pouring in Massachusetts. It's pouring outside the courthouse. Here's the view from outside the courthouse. Umbrellas. Everybody's got umbrellas out. It's supposed to start at 9:30. Let me try calling again. It's a call-in system. It's like, we're in like the 1980s. Melanie. The leader has not activated your conference. Please stand by until your conference begins. That's what I'm getting. So we're going to stand by. We're going to stand by because that's really all we can do right now. Oh, Tracy, something just happened and your super chat disappeared. Let me get it on my phone. Tracy says, watching everything that is going on in this world, I think I am glad I live in Florida. Would stand your ground. Thank you, Tracy Fagan, for your super chat. Somehow I deleted it erroneously on my end, but I thank you so very much for that. Oh, here it is. Lauren, thanks for hanging for 3 months. Who, if anyone, was driving the ambulance? I think it was a fire truck, but yeah. Oh my goodness, look at private info with another 50. Everyone, woo, woo, woo. Interesting tidbit from my NRA certification class taught by a Boston PD guy. He said, you ever have to defend yourself in your home, make sure you're the only one alive to testify. Interesting. He made us swear we'd never told anyone. He advised us that. Oh my gosh, he just totally called him out on it. Is this in Massachusetts? Yeah, Boston PD guy taught you that. I mean, told you that. Yeah, well, maybe Brian Camp's girlfriend is going to say that she didn't see anything. But apparently she was on the phone and they caught the second shot on audio. And I don't know what the juries are like up there or wherever that is in Hampshire County. You tell me. Boots on the ground. Thank you, private info. We're still on hold with some funky hold music. If anybody's listening or watching or looking at Twitter and anybody's live tweeting from the courtroom, let me know. Good morning. Good morning, not that Aussie insider. Melanie looks up every time she says Melanie. I know, it's funny. We have a lot of Melanies. Aidan posted that it got moved to second call. He will be there at 9:30. All right, well, we're holding. We're holding. Yeah, and we haven't had rain in a long time either, Jason, so it was kind of weird to see the rain today. I mean, it rained a lot during the summer, I think, so it was yes, thank you. Thank you, Lisa. Yes, I do remember the old AOL dial-up. I do remember that. And that sound that it would make when you had to dial into it. Hi, Ireland. Good afternoon to Ireland. And Margaret in Ireland. But Lauren says, Mass General Law does not require you to retreat in your own residence. They're saying the first shot was okay. They're saying it was the second shot that was the problem because he waited, or the second shot came 8 minutes later. And maybe he tried to attack him again. Maybe he wasn't dead. Maybe the first time he shot him in the foot. We don't know. Maybe we do know. But we just haven't watched the opening statements yet. Yeah, I hope so too. Trish is hoping for a positive outcome. This has to do with the Lindsay restraining order from the day that she showed up at court. And she says that Paul O'Keefe invited her to court. Paul O'Keefe allegedly told Turtleboy he did not invite her to court, but he didn't want to hurt her feelings. And then he left. And then remember, Kate Peter called the cops from the courthouse steps and said, yeah, there's a guy here who's violating his restraining order. So there's that. There's another Mel, see? We have a lot of Melanies in this chat. I mean, I'm still getting the funky hold music, so that's a good sign, I guess. That says a lot, Heather. Hello, Tommy. I'm going to Dave on Friday, Madison Square Garden. Wasn't it odd? Mix Valaire never had an evidence bag dated 129 for her reconstruction. Everything about this trial was odd. Every single thing about it. You know, people want to say there were taillight pieces in his clothing. Wasn't his clothing stored in the same bag with the taillight pieces? Isn't it odd that she was able to reconstruct like the whole entire taillight except for like one little piece? And isn't it odd that she had pieces that weren't even part of that taillight? And the glass that was found on the bumper was not a match to the cocktail glass that was found in the yard. I mean, there's just so many crazy things. Oh, look at this. V. Oakley says it's hard to retreat when you're attacked in your bedroom. Did you watch the Ashley Benefield case by any chance? Because that's what happened. Exactly what happened. And she was actually convicted of manslaughter. This hold music is really like elevator music to the 10th power.
Friday, next Friday.
Let's see what they're talking
Pink.
about.
Pink day, everybody. Everybody got to wear pink that day.
Oh, that reminds
Going-
me.
Are you coming here or going to
Put something
Stoke
up for you here.
tomorrow?
Well, I go Stoke. You got to go to, you're going to be in Leominster, right?
No, I think Aidan has to be here tomorrow too. So.
Well, I thought it was Leominster tomorrow.
Maybe it is.
I guess Leominster
I'm so
tomorrow.
confused.
Tomorrow's Leominster with Kate, I think. Yeah. That way?
Okay, this is coming to you courtesy of Kelly Reed. I don't know if Kelly's here this morning. Good morning, Kelly, if you're here. For those of you who would like to contribute to the Kearney Defense Fund, Kelly Reed is running a little, hold on a second, she's got an idea for fundraising. And why is this not opening for me? I haven't had enough coffee, can you tell? I'm going to put the scan code up for you. And the message that was attached to this says, I am turning Black Friday pink. Instead of buying a fancy coffee, use your spare change. Donate $5, $10, $100 to Karen's Defense Fund on Black Friday. Leave a Christmas message and help her buy an expert, some airfare, a hotel room, whatever she needs to defend herself from corruption. Starts at 12 a.m. on the 29th and ends at midnight. So this is for Black Friday. Turning pink. Any of you would like to be so kind and generous as to donate to the Defense Fund. If you read the Vanity Fair articles, you know how much money this is costing. She's already $5 million in debt to her attorneys. All right, hang on. We're going to go back to here.
Good thing it's not cold. Hey, good luck today, bud. Well, so what? Can you give a real rundown what today's about?
Oh, it's just a quick one today. It's we have the trial scheduled for December 17th that we are asking to be postponed because there's still some outstanding discovery that we need to get. So it should be a quick one.
Another letter? Think you have it in you? Well, they the letters have been well received amongst the internet. I'm sure you know. So excellent job with them. Sorry you have to write them to begin with, but I'm glad it's you writing them. Right. Wow. Well,
Bederow in the house.
have you guys asked for this to be thrown out at all? Like, that's something,
On the day I was arraigned.
right? What do you think the odds of getting that email address that didn't exist, the fake one?
I think there's good value. Hello.
God, neither do I. It's all new to me. I mean, I've never. Pretty serious thing, isn't it?
Incredible motion that we're pursuing, and we'll see where it goes. But it's a very serious motion regarding a very serious issue.
Right, and I'm pretty sure. What about the people the email got sent to? Don't they have a responsibility to report that? Like, duty to report that this is not what we have in services on? And
They noticed it. Who knows what they even checked the email address? But look, we'll have to wait and see.
what if one of the people responded? Are they complicit?
Doesn't necessarily make them complicit, but it makes it discoverable and something that we are entitled to and will pursue.
Nice. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I got something for you after court.
Okay. Sounds good. I just I told you this one. You're awesome. I love what you do. Go in. I saw something on that pub.
Hi, Dan. So that's Sounded pretty good. Very positive. Oh, Grant.
Not Ada would be here. I'm surprised
He
to
is.
see
He just
Bederow.
pulled in.
Like a comedy
He just
show.
pulled in.
It is like a comedy show. We do love Mark Bederow. It's going to be audio only if their system is working. I'm on hold right now with the court, so
Huh?
I'm not.
Dennis and them are already in there, though.
They would.
Yeah. Yep. Dynamite. What a great thing. I asked him if he had another letter in him. He said maybe. So we'll hopefully think that'd be great. Sir.
Seconded.
Yeah.
I'm not recording.
No.
He will go through some tough shit. I'm not
Sure.
talking about Lindsay or
No, wife.
just general.
Yes.
One thing, like people go through recovery,
Yes.
get better.
Yep.
All of us struggle.
Correct.
Maybe we just don't use it as an insult.
Okay.
Just a request.
Okay. I see that.
yeah, I agree. People in recovery should be proud.
Okay. There he is.
Yeah.
Hey, good luck today in there. Hopefully it's real quick and they dismiss it, right? I mean, enough. This has got to go. This got to stop.
Yeah. How you guys doing?
Bradl.
Doing good.
You're also waterproof.
Yeah.
Shipper might not go tomorrow. We're doing that today.
Okay.
That document is so important. I want that thing to be perfect.
Gotcha. Thanks. Nice. He really is. He is. He's not the guy you want to go against.
Would you ever have imagined Aidan having the killer bees?
No. But
Two lawyers like that
But-
come into this court?
but then again, right? What would you want anybody else?
That was awesome.
Yeah.
It's almost like overkill.
It's not fair.
Didn't start yet, Romy. We're waiting.
Oh.
It says your leader has not yet arrived. Please try your call again
Well,
later.
this case in a vacuum
saw
is
them
not a
walk
big
in,
deal,
so.
but the totality of the situation here is that's
Right. Hey, no light. All right. Is there a problem with the sound today?
Yes, he's married, and yes, I am at least a foot taller than he is. I don't think it worked
Yeah.
out, Georgia girl, but thank
I
you.
have have an external mic. Let me see if I can get that running. See if it sounds better for you guys.
Tom is pretty witty. This is like a comedy
Sometimes it
show.
works. Like I got this.
What is that?
So
Your
let me
car key?
turn on.
Oh, it's a microphone.
Later, bud.
I don't think Bederow would ever have jeans on. No, he's always suited up. It's probably just a dark blue suit. You can't. Are you allowed to wear Stephanie? Are you allowed to wear? Oh, Stephanie. I thought you were the other Stephanie. There's another Stephanie who's an attorney, but here in New York, in Brooklyn, there was a judge who would not allow women attorneys to wear slacks in his courtroom. Like it was nuts. You had to wear a skirt. I'm going to try calling again. Thank you. Oh, oops, wrong phone, wrong passcode. Hang on. Hold, please. Hold, please. Melanie. The leader has not activated this conference. Please stand by. I wonder if they buy those pink ponchos in bulk. I know. He's in full court mode today, our Bederow. Better get Bederow. No, there's no Zoom. It's going to be audio only. I know. It's on, like, in his defense, Tommy, literally the court just got Wi-Fi, like the days before the Karen retrial started. And I think it's terrible reception over there by the courthouse. It's bad. And this could be like a 2-minute thing. They could just be like getting an adjournment. And so we can just wait and see what happens when they come out. If the leader does not start my conference call, yes, jury duty is hilarious. Furious. I recommend this show all the time. For those of you who don't know, Jury Duty is a series on Amazon Prime. I want to say it's like maybe 8 episodes. It's about this guy who thinks he's going to jury duty, but what he doesn't realize is that everyone in the courthouse is an actor. The judge, the jurors, the lawyers, court officers, every single person, even walking through the courthouse, is like an extra. And it's sort of like a candid camera type show, but it's hilarious. It's heartwarming. It is so, so good. And it's got who's the famous actor that I'm thinking of that's in that show? I gotta look it up. And he plays like a real D-bag version of himself, and it is so funny. I actually auditioned for that show because I also am an actor. And I auditioned to play the plaintiff's attorney, who was played by the redheaded woman. And I thought I killed my audition. I thought I did such a great job. And that was an interesting audition because for the audition, there was no script. There were no, they call them sides when they give you like an audition thing. James Marsden, do you know who that guy is? He was in the Notebook. He was the guy that she didn't pick. James Marsden, what else was he in that you would know him from? Anyway, let me show you his picture. So he's also on jury duty, like allegedly. Well, that doesn't really help you. You can't really see that. Anyway, he's pretty cute. This guy. Yeah, that guy. He shows up for jury duty. It's in LA. And he plays a real D-bag version of himself. And then they wind up having to get sequestered like because of him. And it's crazy. It's funny. It's heartwarming. It's all the things. It's all the things that you want in a TV show. It's hilarious. But anyway, I auditioned for that show, and I was so bummed that I didn't. So for the audition, we had to do, the assignment was pretend that you are defending John Wilkes Booth and do your closing argument, arguing that John Wilkes Booth is innocent. I killed it. And I didn't book it, but I wish I did because it was nominated for a lot of Emmys, and I would have been at the Emmys this year. So that would have been really, really, really cool. Really cool. He's in Sonic the Hedgehog. Jury duty is so good. Yes, good, wasn't it? And it was like you can get through it real quick. It's like 8 episodes, and it was such a great show. So good. What else should we watch? Yeah, we can talk about TV shows to watch. We can wait until they come out of court. I'm still on hold for this conference. My leader has not yet arrived. It's like, can't they get their technology together, Johnathan? I mean, I don't know, Johnathan. They just I think after a certain period of time, they just sort of like cut me off. Oh, I definitely don't want to come off mute. It's like the merengue.
You can spend a day in Boston and still not see everything.
I don't know. If we all woke up early for this and there's nothing, well, it's all right. We're all together. Look at this, 4,650 of us here this early in the morning. That's incredible. This is like a nighttime crowd. You guys rock. I know. I listen, Letterow's been better. I always thought that lawyers should be called waiters because all we do is wait around in court. It's like you show up for a 9 a.m. hearing and you're sitting there until 11 and there's 30 or 40 cases on the calendar. And it's like, why can't you just assign me a time to come? And then, like, when the lockdowns happened, everything was on Zoom and that was great. Nobody had to show up in court anymore. All the attorneys could, like, business on the top, party on the bottom, pajama bottoms on the bottom, and like your suit on top. The Lincoln Lawyer was another amazing show, and my friend Becky is on that show. And that's a really, really good show. Did you guys watch The Lincoln Lawyer? That's a really good show. I like it. I have to watch the second season. Anyway, Becky Newton is in that show. She's a friend of mine. She plays Lorna. And she's married to a guy, another actor. His name's Chris Diamandopoulos. And he's been in a lot of stuff too. Like he was in Silicon Valley. And they're really, really, really nice people. Alex Cross on Prime over the weekend. Is it Alex Cross like the Patterson show? Because the James Patterson books, that character, because I read all the books. I didn't know there was a series. I thought I was so up on everything, but really since I've been doing YouTube, I'm not even reading the trades every day like I used to, like Deadline and Variety and all that. So I'm like, don't really have my finger on the pulse so much anymore. See what's happening here. I've got one headphone for each device and each.
Oh, that fits. Look at that.
Yesterday we were live streaming on what did we do in the morning? Oh, yesterday we were live streaming on the Susan Smith parole hearing, which we were waiting for like 2 hours. So we were watching like all the old video from 1994 when Susan Smith went on TV every single day and claimed that she was carjacked and she was begging for the return of her 2 young boys. So we had hours to kill. So we were doing that. And then while we were live on the Susan Smith parole hearing, the news broke that there was a verdict on Chloe Driver. For those of you who didn't know the Chloe Driver case, her name was Chloe Driver, and she was from Canton, Georgia. And she was in a cult. She was in this 12 tribes cult, also known as the Yellow Deli cult. If you've ever seen a Yellow Deli, don't go in there. They'll try and recruit you. I fell into the Yellow Deli rabbit hole one day. There's a whole documentary on it. She was one of 3 wives to this man. She was completely allegedly brainwashed by this cult, and he had her under his control. And she also had mental illness and a whole bunch of like diagnosed disorders. And even the state's expert agreed that she was severely mentally ill. It was a horrible story. She stabbed her baby to death, who was like 13 months old. And then she tried to kill herself by stabbing herself in the neck, but she survived. And she was on trial in Georgia for murder. So the Chloe Driver verdict broke. So somehow, I don't know how I did it, but I was able to put the one stream on hold for Susan Smith and put up the thing and then start a second stream. And then we covered the Chloe Driver verdict live. And then we teleported back to the Susan Smith thing. Then while we were still waiting for Susan Smith, there was a verdict in the Lake and Riley trial. So we immediately went over and did the Lake and Riley verdict. It was a bench trial by a judge. And that guy was found guilty of all charges, thank God. And then we did the Susan Smith parole hearing, and then we went back for the sentencing, and the judge sentenced that Jose Ibarra to life in prison plus without parole plus life plus 20 years plus. He's never going to get out of jail. So that was it was a good day for justice yesterday. It was a good day for justice. I don't know how I really felt about the Chloe Driver case, but they have some options in Georgia. The Chloe Driver verdict was guilty but mentally ill. So they had 4 choices. They had guilty, where she would get out of jail. I mean, guilty, where she would just go to prison. Not guilty, where she would be set free. They had not guilty by reason of insanity, where she would be released to the state mental health hospital and kept for however long they decided that she needed to stay there. Could be 30 years, could be forever. And then she was found guilty but mentally ill, which means she's released to the Department of Corrections, but she can get some mental health psychiatric inpatient help if they have funds in the budget. And then there will be a sentencing by the judge. D'Artagnan says, I think her verdict should have been mental hospital till approved for jail, because then she would have gotten real help. Unfortunately, in jail, well, that's kind of what she got. See, if she got the other thing, if she got not guilty by reason of insanity, she would have been just released to the mental hospital. And then there was really no set time of when she would stay there. Like technically she could be out in a couple of years. So this was kind of like the hybrid. And I think that's what the jury did. I think they kind of that was their compromise, that's what I think happened with that. Thanks, Katie. Hi, Katie. The murder happened in December of 2020. And that was in, I forget which county in Georgia. And I think the reason that we see so many crazy cases in Georgia and Florida is because they let the cameras into everything. A lot of states don't have the cameras in there. So it feels like there's a lot more crazy cases in Georgia and Florida, but it's only because we're seeing them. Maybe. Yes, that Jason Spiller's testimony was the craziest testimony I've ever seen too, Aaron. He drinks his urine every single day and was touting the benefits of drinking urine. He was a nut job, whack job. You want to talk about a whack job? That guy was a whack job. And he was in custody. Elaine, I don't know if she's also an actress, but I did see she had an IMDb page, and I don't know if it's the same Chloe Driver. I don't know if anybody knows. Yeah, it was disgusting. Cherokee County. Thank you. As was Melody Farris, right? I think Melody Farris was even in the exact same courtroom, right? I mean, just so you can hear this, we're still on hold. I don't know which one you're talking about, Guy Mitchell. Season 3? Lincoln Lawyer? We have like 17 side conversations going on. Jose Ibarra guilty. Yeah, it was a bench trial. I didn't watch that trial. I covered Chloe Driver instead, only at the end of it because there was so much Karen Reed stuff going on last week. And I knew I was going to be traveling. So I didn't want to leave you hanging on a trial. But so we covered Chloe Driver, the final day and the closings and the verdict. And because I have kids in college, I could not handle the Lakin trial. Was too much. Come on, Dedham, get your system together, would you? Suits. I love Suits too. Loved it. Let's go above number 16. Saw something yesterday. I hope it's not true, but I saw something that said that if Deion Sanders' son Shador gets drafted to the Cowboys and they offer him the head coach position, he's going to go. That he would take it. I don't know if that was fake news or what, but we can't lose Deion Sanders now that we just got him and we finally have a winning team. I mean, they haven't won anything since they won the Orange Bowl. They were national champions in 1990. That's I lived in Boulder then.
Give the mods the address. We'll set up a day. I'll drive around and we'll pick everything up.
No, he's kind of garbled right now, but we will. Everyone go over there and give Tom a like on his stream. Thank you, Private Info, for joining and becoming a new member. Elf, love your passion and dedication. I love you, Elf, too, because you're always here. And Zoe, look at Zoe joined. Look at Private Info showering me with super chats this morning. Thank you. Says, yep, in Massachusetts, he'll definitely be in trouble due to the time frame between the first and second shot. The girlfriend's testimony will be critical, but Massachusetts will try and nail him like Danny Penny in New York. But at least part of this is being broadcast, right? This Brian Camp trial. Another Brian, go figure. Is every third person in Massachusetts named Brian? So if you forget a guy's name, you can just call him Brian and you've got like a 30% chance of getting his name right. I'm starting to think that. I feel like everybody in Massachusetts is named Brian. Here on Long Island, at least in my generation, there was like Matthew, Mark, Luke, and Paul. It was like everyone was named after the apostles, the disciples. A lot of Nicks here too. A lot of Nicholases. I remember looking at the class lists when my kids were young, and there was always a lot of Nicholases. We have a huge Italian and Irish population here on Long Island.
Oh my God, I'm not worried about that. Thank you so much. Who said that? Who was that?
What?
TF? Really? I'm good. Really. I'm.
See what he's talking
No
about.
harm, no foul. No one knows nothing, and that's good. Oh, it's for a good cause. I'm positive of it. And if you don't want your name out there, you just do it anonymously. You know.
I mean, maybe he's talking about the Kearney Defense Fund. Not a lot of people out there today at the Dedham Courthouse, but Tom CPU is there. Come rain or come shine. Come rain or come shine. That's a great song. Also reminds me of the mailman. What was it they used to say about the postman? Sleet, snow, rain, hail, whatever. He's out there doing his job, or she. Jazzy Jones, thanks to 5. Who's Marcy's boss? When will they step in and do something about the corruption in his office? I guess the governor is his boss, right, Healy? I don't know if she's on your side, peeps. I don't know, Jazzy. Thanks for the 5. Hillary, thanks for becoming a new member. And Charlene, thanks for hanging around with me for 9 months. I was in court with the Killer Bees last Turtleboy hearing. Powerhouses, yeah. The last one was in Superior Court where they have a Zoom feed. This one only has an audio feed, and I'm still on hold. And they keep saying your leader has not started the conference yet. And then they hang up on me, and then I call back. And right now I'm just listening to the jazzy hold music.
The leader has not yet arrived. Please try your call again later.
So then I hang up, and then I just call back again. And that's where we are. We're just waiting. But, Tom CPU is there, so he will let us know when they come out, and then we can hear from Aidan himself and from Mark Bederow and from Bradl exactly what happened if they do not get this show on the road here with the with their audio system. All right, I got to put my password in now. I'm getting good at this, you guys. This is going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. Melanie. I'm the first caller now to the conference. The leader has not yet activated this conference. Take me to your leader, Dedham District Court. Take me to your leader. Amy's Positive Pathways says my super common name, Amy Smith. LOL, I'm in Massachusetts. Hi, Amy's Positive Pathways. I was with Mark Bederow the day I went to the Daniel Penny trial down in Lower Manhattan. And coincidentally, he texted me that morning and he said, I'm going to be at 100 Center Street today. What are you doing? And I said, that's so funny. I'm driving to the train right now. I'm going to go down there to see Daniel Penny. And it was like a happy coincidence. And then I watched part of the trial for the morning. And then we went to Little Italy, which is right near there. And we had a very nice lunch and got to catch up for a couple hours. So that was nice. Janine Pirro was in the courtroom that day. And I was sad that I didn't get to meet her in the hallway. I wanted to talk to her. I really like Judge Janine. I demand to speak to your leader. Linda says you can guess an accurate age range for most Lindas or Karens. I mean, Karen was a big name for Gen X. A lot of Karens. If you don't know somebody's name, you could just call them Karen and you'd have like a 30% chance of getting it right. Where are they in the Penny trial? No, you didn't miss the hearing. It was moved to 9:30 and I'm on hold right now. It's audio only. I'm waiting. If my leader ever comes to start this conference, we're going to broadcast it, but got it in this ear, Miku, in my headphones. Let me let's see what's happening with Daniel Penny today. Oh, I have his interrogation video here. Somebody finally posted that so we can watch that. Got a lot of things happening here. We're always ready to pivot in the event that we can't listen to the audio, or we can watch Turtleboy. I call him Aidan because that's his God-given name. I just can't call a grown man Turtleboy. I'm sorry. Aidan, Mark Bederow, and Bradl, all three of them are there, and I'm sure they will come out and do a press conference just for Tom CPU. Because look at Mark traveling all the way from New York for this, which may be a quick adjournment, so we don't even know. But it is so nice to have 4,716 of you here with me this early morning. Always look on the bright side of life. That's great. That's a great Monty Python reference to Esponte. Thank you for that. If you know, you know. Love me some Monty Python. Do you have a shrubbery? A shrubbery? And 'tis only a flesh wound. 'Tis only a flesh wound. Katie's daughter is graduating from high school this year. My only one. Oh my God. The days are long, but the years are short, Katie. Enjoy it. So you're knee deep in college applications yet? That takes up a whole lot of time. It's so great, I've noticed, because I have 5 kids and only one is left in high school. And they've started working on their college essays in high school English class, which I love. Because with my oldest 2, they didn't do that in high school. I don't believe. I think I had to hire someone to help them with their essays because I don't know what they're looking for in a college essay. It's a lot of work. Those applications are a lot of work and a lot of money. Oh, thank you, Kelly, for thanking me for being here. I love being here too. I love being here with you. I love all of you so much. Love you with all of my heart. Thank you for the 5. Courtney, thanks. I graduated with 12 Courtneys. Yes, that was a 90s kid's name. Yep. Courtney. And now there are a lot of Stellas. A lot of the names have gotten a little bit more unique. A lot of Avas. I feel like everyone's kid is named Ava nowadays. DMB22. Although if you call someone Karen and their name is not Karen, it probably won't go over well. I know. They didn't know that in the 60s when they named everybody Karen. Thanks, DMB22. Are you going to any shows? I'm assuming that your name is a Dave Matthews reference. Maybe it's not. Maybe those are your real initials. Those real initials, not your issues. I don't know if you have issues. Your real initials. Hi, P. Ferrari. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate you so much. You guys are very, 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 so very. You've been so kind and generous. I don't know how you keep on giving. Oh my gosh, that looks like Jennifer McCabe. Did you see that person walking? You see that person walking in? Hold on a second. Because that looks like a jacket that she would wear. Wait a minute. Is she trying to get in there and get an HPO against someone? We gotta put the volume on. Hold on. Let's see when she comes into frame.
Yep. Mods are the freaking bomb here. No, listen. I can't do this without them.
Yeah,
I
mods are
can't.
everything.
All my mods.
Mods are everything, Tom. He would, if that was Jennifer McCabe, he would have known. He would have seen her. Oh, and she would have. Wait, let's see them coming out. I mean,
See that you're viewing it. That's all you need to worry about. And that
no, he would have picked up on that. I'm sure. I'm sure of it. This is where we stand. Stop telling people to email me. Don't tell people to email me. No, I'm just kidding. You can email me. It doesn't mean I'm going to respond. I do read all emails. I do not respond to all emails. I am getting buried with emails every single day. Buried. And then people send me emails asking me to forward them to other people. Really? There was one person who was emailing me like literally 8 times a day. Forward this to Andrea Burkhart. I'm like, I don't work for you. I don't give out other people's contact information. No, I'm not going to forward this to Andrea Burkhart. And then, they'll be like, and then somebody, oh my God, somebody had such a funny comment in the chat yesterday. Like, Melanie, I'm going to, I need a ride. I need to get picked up at the airport. Can you please call the Glare and tell him to pick me up at the airport? It was hilarious. And then there was a woman who wanted me to travel to, I think it was California or Arizona. And she said, I need you or someone to travel to California or Arizona and pick up my 5-year-old son and buy him a plane ticket and bring him to Colombia or Costa Rica or Brazil or somewhere. And I will meet you there. And then you can buy him a plane ticket for like 2 months later. And in exchange for this, I will give you 10 acres of land. It's like, block. Like you can't even make it up. You just can't even make it up. No, I'm just kidding, Sarah. Because it wasn't a mod that said to email me. So I was like, what? Oh, you had someone ask me to give you their email so you could email them. Oh, yes, right. So put the burden on me. Put the burden on me. And then there's somebody who's like, can you call me? And like, call me. No. No. I don't know who you are, and I don't know who you're pretending to be. It's crazy. All right. Well, that's some interesting information that I'm not allowed to share yet. So I forgot to put the do not disturb on. I will do now. Still listening to the smooth jazz. Smooth jazz. Oh, Marcello. Marcello's here from Argentina, everyone. Marcello, it wasn't you that asked me to buy somebody a plane ticket and bring them to Argentina, was it? I'm just kidding. But Marcello's always here from Argentina. And yes, Marcello, many of the ladies in the chat have changed their names to say something like Claire's new girlfriend. And it's really funny. We have the funniest chat. If you've never been here before, welcome. We have the funniest chat on YouTube. We have dubbed them the Snark Tank, and all we do is laugh all day. I mean, even through the tough topics, because that's when you need to laugh the most. And just take a look. Adam Lally's resignation. They have changed their screen names to match the trials We have Giga Dog Bits. We have Donnie Not Wahlberg. This is a new channel. So they have a new channel now. So this is Tom CPU with Boston Mike, and it's called Seeking Justice with Tommy and Boston Mike. So go over on there later. Give them a sub. They're always out there, come rain or come shine.
When it's all said and done, looking back,
Outside the
it's going to be
courthouse.
something that
Filming, giving us the deets on the street. Mama Bear, can you help me move? Oh, that's another, like the Seinfeld. Yes. Seinfeld references are always allowed. Always allowed. Remember the episode where Elaine has to drive that guy to the airport? And I think it's the same guy who's the marathon runner. And his alarm doesn't go off. So he like misses the marathon. And then she has to take him to the airport. And she's like, and I was driving there. And I was driving there. And then the Van Wyck. Oh my God, hilarious. Everything. There's a Seinfeld quote for everything. Yeah, dear Dad. Melanie's like, Andrea's wonderful, but I'm not Andrea's secretary. Right, I'm not. I cannot forward your emails to Andrea Burkhart. Listen, do your due diligence, okay? Do your due diligence. Go on her channel. Most creators on their landing page have an email address. You just have to click a little box that you're not a robot. That's all you got to do. And you can get their email address yourself. But just because you have mine, because I'm kind enough to let my mods drop it in the chat for people who want to, share story ideas or documents or whatever. It doesn't mean that I'm going to forward emails to you to other people. Thank you, Ann Smith, so very much for your super sticker this morning. A New Hampshire woman's been here for 13 months. You're like one of the OGs. I think you're like one of my first 5 members because I've only had members for, I think, 13 months. I mean, this channel is only a little over a year old. Thank you, proud Gen Xer. Mike B from the 413, thanks for the 10. Have you seen any of the latest police issues in Massachusetts? Officers ducking out on MPTC education. Yep, they're not doing like their continuing ed or whatever they call it there. Plus, Ted Daniel did a report on UMass Dartmouth PD failing to report officer misconduct to Post. I did see that. He got some random thumb drive in the mail with no return address. And I guess that was the story that broke last night at like 10 p.m. He said we had to stand by and wait to see what happened at 10 p.m. for that. Thank you, Mike B from the 413 for your 10. And for those of you who are asking, how can you watch like Boston 25 if you're not from Boston? They have a website. So most TV stations have a website. You just go to boston25.com or whatever. And then there's always like a click live button. And you can click and watch it live without subscribing to any kind of cable or anything. Just do it right on your browser. Alicia, thanks for becoming a YouTube member. And look at Marie Louise tuning in from Stockholm. Thank you so much for your super chat. Nice to spend the afternoon with you. Greetings from a white, snowy Stockholm. Oh, I'd love to go there. Skiing's amazing, right? Boston JD, sup? What's up, Boston JD? Excited for the hearing? Well, we're still listening to smooth jazz on the Dedham District Court website because it says my leader has not yet arrived. But even if they don't, and because my paralegal Johnathan, one of my paralegals said that the system is down at Dedham District today, but we're here for it. And Tom CPU is boots on the ground outside the courthouse. We did see Aidan walk in. We saw Bradl and Bederow walk in with him. Got a little bit of an interview on the way in, and I'm sure we'll get another one on the way out. And Aidan did say it was probably going to be a short hearing today, and I think even Bradl said that it may just be an adjournment because they must have taken Lindsay in the back door because I don't think there's been a sighting of her. Kelly Gigabyte Me Bev. See, I told you. See these names? Kelly Gigabyte Me Bev. Thank you for becoming a new member. P. Ferrari, hey, thanks for the 20. 5 kids here too, including 2-year-old twins and 2 5-year-olds. What? Twin moms have superpowers. Yes. So you have 4 kids under 6. God bless you. At one point, I had 3 kids like under 5. I don't know how you do it, girl. But you're amazing. You're a warrior. You're a superpower. You're a super mom. It is the hardest job that you will ever have, raising kids, but it is also the most rewarding because for me, you know, people can compliment you on your accomplishments and how much money you make and your accolades and your profession and your success, but there is no better compliment than when people say to you, my God, your kids are so amazing. You have the greatest kids, right? If you know, you know. Thanks for the 20. Mama She, thanks for the 20. Good morning. Back to names. My oldest girl's name is Meadow. It says Meadow Doe. So I don't know if it's Meadow Doe or Meadow. And my baby boy River is having surgery Monday. Prayers appreciated. Oh, everybody put prayers up for baby boy River. That is, I have 5 myself. So many of them have had surgeries at one time or another. And there is no scarier feeling than, holding your kid's hand while they're putting them under anesthesia. And while they go to sleep, and they let you stay in the OR until they go to sleep, and then you have to leave. And every minute that passes by while you're waiting for the doctor to come back out feels like 2 hours. So I feel you, and prayers up for River. And I hope that everything goes really well and that he makes a good recovery. In fact, this is a funny story. My youngest daughter had surgery when she was, oh God, how old was she when she had this surgery? I want to say maybe like 10 or 11. And she's a huge Grey's Anatomy fan. She's watched every single episode of Grey's like twice. And you know how kids like say the wackiest things when they come out of anesthesia? And a lot of people do like TikToks of their kids coming out of anesthesia after like wisdom teeth or something. So thank God I had my phone right there. She came out. She's in recovery. She's like all groggy. And she's like, Mom, Meredith was in the operating room. And I said, really? Did she talk to you? Did you have our conversation? And she said, yes, she told me that everything went great and that it's okay to wake up. And she said, and George was there too. George was there too? She's like, yes, he was so nice. And I thought that was hilarious because out of all the characters on Grey's, like if I was coming out of anesthesia, it would have been McDreamy, but no, for my daughter, it was George. Meredith and George were there. So prayers up, please, for River. Thank you. Yeah, I thought it was hilarious. I have it all on video somewhere. And it made for a great story. It still makes for a great story. Hi, Cheyenne Brown, and good morning. I assume Idaho 4 is tough for you with college kids. Are you covering it? So many people think he's innocent and being framed, not enough evidence. I did cover it a lot with Duty Ron. And when's the trial? It's coming up in the summer. I feel like everyone is covering it already. I don't know yet. I haven't made a decision. I mean, I'll do some, maybe if you want to do some of the motions and stuff. It's, for me, from what I had seen when I was following it with Duty Ron, I was kind of like, where's the DNA? Where's the blood? That was such a bloody crime scene. He definitely would track some stuff into his car. That's another very divisive case where people feel like either there's no way it was him. My leader has not yet arrived. Please try my call again later. All right, I'm going to call back. I was on hold for 20 minutes this time, which was longer than any of the other times. It's a very divisive case. People are like, they got the right guy. They should hang him. And I'm like, okay, but they have a car that looks like his on video somewhere maybe near the house around kind of the time. They've got some GPS. I don't know. He said he was out for a drive. There's no DNA. Doesn't they have touch DNA of his on the knife sheath that was found underneath the girl, which why would it even be there? And why would he leave his knife? I don't know. I have a lot of questions. So the answer is I don't know right now. It seems like Karen Reed and now Aidan Kearney take up a lot of time. And then we cover trials in between. We shoehorn them in. So I don't know. Emmy, thanks for being here for 11 months. Has been here with me since the Maya Kowalski trial. That is a long time. Oh, thank you. I love you too. Intolerant has been with me for 7 months and says, love some Melanie in the morning. There's over 5,000 of you here. It's like a huge crowd for an early morning stream. Let's see what's happening with checking in with Tom.
Get ready. Yeah, they come out of the
They're coming out.
doors.
And he'll get an interview. It's going to be a little garbled. As it is, because the service there stinks. It's not Tom's fault. Thanks, Intolerant. Rach Crochet, you have a
So
channel?
they're getting another date.
Love you too.
All right, getting another date. It's all it is. Come here and get a date. Come back again. Come back again. Come back again.
Yeah. Better was real happy he traveled to dad.
What happened? Another date? Really? December 17th for a Rule 17 motion. Another date, another date, another date. What's up?
Well, let's wait for the walkout interview. Wonder if that's the Rule 17 motion that we read last night. But that's in Superior Court, so maybe not. But they're looking for
Come back
Marcy's
for another date. That's it. Imagine that.
private emails and text messages that he was using to
That's just
communicate
like
with the judges on Aidan's case.
Borderline just busting his chops. Just don't.
Tom, I'm telling you, that's what it is. Lawyers should be called waiters because all we do is wait and then we go there and it's a whole waste of a day and you get a new date. So we'll wait for them to come out to hear from them. And our boots on the ground, Tom CPU, will get it for us. But don't go anywhere because I got something queued up here. There's another trial happening in Massachusetts that you might not know about called the Brian Camp trial. 23-year-old living with his girlfriend. Guy breaks into their house in the middle of the night and starts attacking this guy, Brian Camp, in his bed. And he shoots him and kills him. And he's on trial right now in Hampshire County. And a lot of people don't know about this. Thank you to my viewer, Elizabeth, who sent it to me. Self-defense, but they're saying the first shot was okay, but the second shot that was 8 minutes later was not okay. And therefore he's on trial. And it's interesting because I have the opening statements queued up. Thought if you guys are interested, we could take a look. Melanie Health Concierge Service. Oh, come now. That is amazing. That you win. You win. You win. I mean, I can't even. Need you to fly down to Mississippi to take my dog to the vet. I love this. I love it. Girl, email me. I should give you a wrench for that
There is a way.
if you want it. I mean, it's here's Boston Mike.
Hold on, hold on.
Yeah.
Home office.
All right, I'm using my other phone. This should be able to hear it. Should be able to hear you.
All right. He's kind of grainy. I'm gonna wait until they come out of the courthouse too. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Melanie Little's Concierge Service. Thank you for the 5 and for changing your name to something so adorable. Mathis, thank you for your super chat. Says, any chance you will cover the Take Care of Maya appeal when it goes to oral arguments? Would love a civil litigant's perspective. Yeah, if somebody notifies me when those oral arguments are and if they are televised, I absolutely will. I don't know that I have time to go through all the briefs and everything, but I could read them and do like a summary and then watch the arguments. So yes, that I can definitely keep that on the calendar. We can put it on the docket. Thanks, Mathis, for pointing that out. Maureen loves the show. Thank you, Maureen. We're riffing today. We're riffing. Hi, little Miss Red Velvet. Whatever trial we follow. All right, wait. Here they come.
Shelby, minimize me, Shelby.
17th is going to be our motion date. We're going to pick a trial date then. We're going to try to get all the phones from February 26th to the raw data. We don't want to cherry pick data. We want our own data. We'll go through them ourselves. So I'll leave it to my man here. I'm going to go pull up the car. Okay, sounds good. Yeah.
He's going to pull up the car.
Well, he's ready for trial, but we're not. We have, because we'd like to go to trial now because we don't have their phones. So we know this whole thing was set up by various people, including Krusty, who called 911 immediately, almost as if she knew that whole thing was going to happen. And so we want to know what led up to that. And so we have a right. We're entitled to see that. They provided videos, but we don't know if those videos have been altered. We don't know. We need them in their original form. We have a right to this stuff. And we don't trust anything that, these people, including the government and the police, have been doing. So we have a right to this. So the trial date was scheduled for December 17th. But now that it's been converted to a Rule 17 motion hearing, which will argue why we are allowed to have access legally to this information, and then a trial date will be picked from there.
Now, is that gonna include all the state police phones, like codes and all that too?
That's different. No, these are phones of people that are directly related to the allegations, and it's a due process issue. Lawyers don't try cases without evidence. You get the evidence first, and then you try the case. So we're seeking evidence, then we'll try the case. That's just the normal course of how to try the case. So it's all standard, and that's what we'll do. We'll get the evidence, go forward, try the case, and move on.
Any response to the letters you wrote to them?
Nothing officially, no.
That's a shame.
We'll have to wait. In due course,
Gotcha.
Due course, my friend.
Yeah,
there's always responses
Yeah.
or motions or whatnot.
Phone
So
calls.
stay tuned.
across the street. So
Buckle up, buttercups.
we'll be back in that courthouse on December 2nd. A couple weeks away for the motion to suppress the phones and more
Shelby, you can make this
emails,
smaller.
all sorts of stuff. We're just starting to unravel this. Notice there hasn't been any, like I was arrested over a year ago, and what have they done? Like, what shots have they taken? What new evidences have they brought forward? I mean, nothing. They arraigned me, bunch of YouTube videos, and now ever since then it's just been point after point after point for us, and they have nothing in return at all. So I feel good. Thank you guys all for coming. I appreciate that. I know it's the most pleasant weather. You guys are so open to fun. I love it. Love it. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Where you parked?
Tim's gonna pick us up and bring me in my car.
Okay.
You know.
Well, yeah, come on.
Tim, the
I got something
chauffeur.
for you.
My chauffeur, Tim.
I got something for you. No, I'll give it to him. Hold on.
My chauffeur, Tim, will be pulling up the car.
They're gonna fight over who gets this painting. You know that, guys, right?
Aidan.
Him and Bradl are gonna fight.
Aidan doesn't even use an umbrella. A lot of men don't even wear coats, shorts in the winter. So here's what had happened. What had happened was nobody has responded to Bederow's letters that he's written. So Cosgrove has not responded to any of those letters. And they are going to, today's case was adjourned to the 17th. The 17th was supposed to be a trial date on this case. This is the Lindsay case for the restraining order, I believe. I believe it's for the restraining order because it's district court. And so that 12/17 date has been converted into a motions hearing, Rule 17 motions. They want all the phones and they're entitled to them. Tully, Mello, Kate Peter, and Lindsay.
Yeah, that's a painting. They took that as a painting. It's actually two paintings. Look at that. Look at that.
Wait, turn it to the camera. Let us see it.
No, no, no. It's amazing. They did a great job with that.
Turn it around.
On the wall. Yeah. Auntie.
Can we see it? It's a giant painting of him and someone else, it looks like. Wait, does he show it at all?
They took that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's a painting. They took that as a painting. It's actually two paintings. Look at that.
I can't believe he doesn't show it to the camera. This is not his first day on TV.
No. It's amazing. They did a great job with that.
I don't know if Mello was there. No, because
Yeah.
Cosgrove has taken over the case, so I don't believe that Mello was there. It's a painting of him and Bradl with the flag and them walking. Oh, that's great. That's really nice. Sometimes you can also get like photos or like somebody can draw something and then you can like go through like Vistaprint or one of those places like Shutterfly and they'll put it on a canvas for you. What a nice gift. And look at the supporters outside giving out gifts. Yeah, you can kind of see it a little bit there. There's a shot of it. Oh, how sweet. That's so sweet. They painted it from the picture? Wow. I wish he would have held it up for the camera. All right, so that December 17th date is converted from a trial date to, nice rover, to a motions hearing date for the Rule 17 motions to get the phone records of Lindsay, Tully, Mello, and Kate Peter. And then on the 2nd, there's a motion in the Superior Court, which is better because they're going to have Zoom and stuff. They're going to show Zoom and stuff like that. Tom showed it earlier. Well, you guys can go check that out on and make sure to give them a like. It is Seeking Justice with Tom and Boston Mike. So there's that, which was kind of a nothing burger. And I hate that term. I'm not even going to say that. Nothing burger. I don't even like that. Surgery this afternoon. Thanks for the distraction. All right, Cindy. Prayers up for Cindy. I hope your surgery goes really well. Law Jackie says, please investigate the Ellen Greenberg case. All right, you guys. I'm gonna play a little teaser. I'm gonna play a little teaser. I'm gonna play a little bit of this opening argument from the Brian Camp case that I was telling you about earlier. And if there's enough interest in it, I think we should cover it. This is happening in Hampshire County, Massachusetts. Not a lot of people know about this. And I started watching this opening and I thought it was really good. So let's take a listen to this. This is the prosecutor. Well, and it's actually both opening statements. And then if you guys are interested in it, let's cover it because it's not getting a lot of coverage. Here we go. We're going to roll right into it because, you know, we're here. Another Massachusetts, another day, another Massachusetts case. This is out of Hampshire County. Opening statements beginning with the prosecutor. Here we go. Well, don't buffer on me, man. Oh, wait, hold on. You know what? I got to switch over to Ethernet. I was on the regular Wi-Fi because of the phone call. Okay, here we go. Court TV, you suck.
From yesterday, you know a little bit about this case.
I mean, it's only in one of my ears. Tell me if the volume is doable.
From yesterday, you know a little bit about this case. You know that a gentleman named Johnathan Letendre broke into a home in Chesterfield, and you know that the defendant, Brian Camp, shot him to death. And when you heard that, let's be honest, a couple of you probably thought, well, why are we here? What's the crime there? He broke in, he got shot, he died. Sounds clean cut, doesn't it? Well, there's a lot more to this story. And this is my opportunity to fill in some of those details, and to tell you the complete story, and to tell you why we are here today, and why Mr. Camp is charged with manslaughter. So as the judge said just a few moments ago, I'd ask you to keep an open mind and wait until you've heard all the evidence before you draw any conclusions. So let's start off with a little bit about who Johnathan Letendre was. He was 27 years old. He was a general manager for Dunkin' Donuts franchises in the Aidenville, Northampton area. And it was through his work at Dunkin' Donuts that he met a young woman named Brooke Janik. Brooke Janik is at the center of this case. She was the on-again, off-again girlfriend of the defendant. And she was also in the home that night when Johnathan Letendre broke in. During a break in Brooke's relationship with Mr. Camp in early 2022, when they had split up, Mr. Letendre and Ms. Janik struck up a relationship. It was a brief relationship, it was sexual in nature, and then it broke off. Brooke Janik went back to Mr. Camp resumed their relationship. They were raising 2 young children together. And Johnathan Letendre didn't take this well. He didn't think that Mr. Camp treated Ms. Janik properly. And he engaged in some unpleasant conduct toward Ms. Janik. Sent some disparaging text messages. Wouldn't leave her alone. And
I've learned that some of you are bothered by those blinky things. So let me just see if I can make this a little bit larger so I can get that blinky clock out of there. Hold on. All right, let's try this.
on the evening of December 27th, he made a tragic, awful, and ultimately fatal decision. For reasons we may never fully know, he drove up to Brooke Janik's house in Chesterfield. He texted her either when he got there or on his way there saying, "Can you talk? I can't sleep." He parked his vehicle on the roadway. He walked toward the house. He let himself into that house around 12:30 in the morning. And I'm not going to try to sugarcoat anything with you, okay? He had a pair of handcuffs in his pocket. He had a decorative knife in his jacket pocket.
A decorative knife.
Now, whether he carried these things routinely or whether he brought them there for a purpose, no one can really say. But when he went into that house, when he crossed that threshold at night, uninvited, unannounced, he was absolutely breaking the law. This was a burglary. This was a break-in. He had no right to do that. Brian Camp and Brooke Janik are upstairs. Second floor, Cape-style house. Brooke hears some noise. She hears some creaking on the stairs. She gets up to check to see what that is because her children are across the hall sleeping. She and Brian are in bed. And as she gets up and turns the corner to see what this noise is, there's Johnathan Letendre. Okay? This is like horror movie scene. Again, not sugarcoating anything. She screams. Brian jumps up. He was sleeping naked. He doesn't have a shred of clothes on. And a battle ensues between Johnathan Letendre and Brian Camp. They are fighting. They are wrestling. Jonathan's glasses fall off. He somehow gets cut in the head. He's bleeding. Brian Camp has him in a chokehold, trying to subdue him. Brooke grabs her phone and she runs downstairs and calls 911. And this 911 call becomes a critical piece of evidence in this case because for the next 19 minutes and 2 seconds, we hear almost a play-by-play account of what is happening inside that house from Brooke Janik's perspective. And you'll hear that 911 call this morning. In fact, the dispatcher who was talking with Brooke, trying to get information out of Brooke, will be the first witness. The 911 call is very difficult to hear and understand because Brooke is so upset, so emotional. She's screaming, she's crying. The dispatcher's doing her best to get the information she needs to deploy the appropriate resources. Medical, state police. What you can hear on that 911 call is shedding valuable light into what happened during those minutes and why we are here today. The call starts off with Brooke hysterical. She's saying the address, 239 South Street, Chesterfield. She's describing what's happening, how Johnathan and Brian are inside the house. They're fighting. At one point, Brian has Johnathan down on the ground. And 7 minutes and 43 seconds into that call, as Brooke is describing, things have calmed down somewhat. Brooke's able to catch her breath. She's explained to the dispatcher who Johnathan is, how she knows Johnathan, how unfortunately she got involved with Johnathan. You hear the first shot in the background. Brooke hears it. Dispatcher hears it. Brooke goes hysterical. Oh my God, I heard.
7 minutes in is the first shot. What took them so long to get there? I have questions.
Gunshot. Now that gunshot is Brian Camp shooting Johnathan Letendre once in the midsection. Brian Camp lawfully owned a firearm. He will say later that he grabbed it off of some countertop or up above some cabinets. And he used it against Johnathan Letendre to defend himself. And we're not here today to debate the legality of that first shot. Okay, that first shot's good. That first shot is self-defense. We're not here about the first shot. That first shot goes into Johnathan Letendre's side. It breaks the 11th rib on his left side. It goes in and pierces his stomach. It pierces his colon. It pierces his liver. This is a hollow-tipped bullet. It's tearing through his torso. Johnathan Letendre falls to the ground, grievously wounded. The medical examiner will tell you that he would have been in immense, immobilizing pain. He begins to bleed internally. By the time his off.
Okay, crazy what adrenaline can do, right? I'll kind of use my ASMR voice because I know the court volume is low and I don't want to blow out your ears because today I'm being very sensitive to your needs. Can it also increase adrenaline in someone where they can become infuriated and then attack you again, Mr. Prosecutor? I'm just wondering.
Autopsy is conducted. The medical examiner discovers and measures 750 milliliters of blood just inside his torso from the damage from that first shot. Johnathan is down. The threat has been neutralized. That shot was good. We're here today because of what happened in the next 8 minutes and 37 seconds. Once Johnathan Letendre is on the kitchen floor, grievously wounded and bleeding and moaning, Brian Camp catches his breath. He goes and gets some clothes on, first of all. He brings some things outside to Brooke Janik, where Brooke is. He goes back inside the house. The kids, meanwhile, are still upstairs in the bedroom. The kids don't get taken out. They're in the bedroom. And rather than go for the kids, Brian Camp goes for his phone. He finds his phone.
Okay, maybe he's trying to neutralize the threat to the kids. I don't like where this is going.
He uses that phone to call his boss. They talk for a couple of minutes. The boss then texts him a couple of things. And then with the kids still upstairs and Brooke still outside and Johnathan Letendre still bleeding on the kitchen floor, Brian Camp walks over toward Johnathan with his cell phone, and he takes the last known picture of Johnathan Letendre alive on this earth. He photographs Johnathan Letendre literally dying in front of him. You'll see that picture. Johnathan is face down on the ground. He's holding the back of his head with his left hand. And about a minute and a half later, Brian Camp uses that same weapon with the same hollow tip bullets. He walks over to where Johnathan is lying. He shoots him in the head, killing him instantly. 8 minutes and 37 seconds after he had lawfully shot him in the torso, put him down on the ground, Brian Camp executes him. And that's why we're here. That second shot, which at the end of the case, I will argue to you was unnecessary, way over the top, more force than was reasonably needed to defend himself at that moment. Brian Camp walks out of the house when the police get there. He's cooperative. You'll see some body cam footage of Brooke and Brian both walking toward the first trooper who gets there, hands up. He instructs them to get down on their knees. He does. He informs the trooper, the firearm's in my pocket. The trooper takes it from his pocket, secures it. Brian Camp is in rough shape. He's just been in a battle. Didn't go to bed expecting a battle from an intruder. He's covered almost head to toe in blood, Johnathan's blood. He's banged up. He'll later be treated for a fracture in his hand. And then he goes and speaks with the state police at the barracks in Northampton to get his side of the story.
Ooh, big mistake.
You'll
Don't ever go talk to MSP at the barracks without a lawyer. Oh, Brian. Brian, why? Why did you do that, Brian? This is opening statements. The trial started 2 days ago.
Here in this interview tell you pretty much what I just laid out up to a certain point. He's in bed, sleeping, intruder jumps up. Brian Camp doesn't know who the heck this guy is. Doesn't recognize him, doesn't know his name, doesn't know all the negative stuff, doesn't know that there's any handcuffs in the pocket. Those handcuffs never came out. They never played a role in this altercation. Doesn't know that there was a knife in Jonathan's jacket, because that knife never came out. It was never part of this altercation. In fact, Jonathan's jacket ends up on a couch in the living room. He says, we were battling, we were hitting each other with things. There were a couple of different firearms in the house. At one point, there was this muzzle loader, which you'll hear some more testimony about. They're struggling over what's called a muzzle loader. It's essentially, from what I understand, kind of like a modern day musket. And at one point, Brian actually snaps it open, dumps out the primer so that it can't be fired, slides it out of the house, and puts stuff near the side of the house. Then there's this old shotgun lying around that they're struggling over. It breaks apart, essentially. And that's when Brian grabs this Sig Sauer pistol, and he admits, yeah, I shot him somewhere around here. Troopers say, well, was it one shot or two shots? Brian said, well, I think it was one. It could have been two. I'm not really sure, but I shot him somewhere in here. And they ask him very clearly, like, where was the second shot? Was there a second shot? I don't really know. Can't really. He doesn't own the second shot. He doesn't say, I talked to my boss, I took pictures, shot him in the head. His memory about that, vague at best. One thing he does say, though, and I think this is telling, he says almost casually, talking about Johnathan breaking in, well, if I ever did something like that, I'd want someone to put me down, too. Put me down. When the police get there, as I said, they secure the scene, they secure Mr. Camp. The state police go into the house. The state police go up the stairs. They first assess the scene. Jonathan's clearly dead. They sweep the house, make sure there's nothing else going on. They go upstairs. The state police remove the children from the bed. They bring the children out to Brooke. They reunite Brooke with her children. Medics start arriving, ambulance arrives, state police arrive, crime scene services begins doing their thing, photographing, processing, gathering evidence. And that's why we're here. At the end of this case, when the judge is giving you full instructions on manslaughter and on self-defense and what it means to defend yourself or defend your family, pay close attention to when he says certain things, including the law does not permit retaliation or revenge. One can use an amount of force that's reasonably necessary to prevent an attack or prevent the reoccurrence of an attack. And the proper use of self-defense arises from the necessity of the moment, and it ends when the necessity ends. And it's our contention in this case that when Johnathan Letendre was on the floor bleeding from massive damage to his torso, lying face down, shielding himself, as you'll see in the photo that Brian Camp took, he no longer posed a threat. His conduct prior to that point, indefensible, criminal. And if he lived, he'd be on trial. But Mr. Camp took matters into his own hands. He bypassed this whole process that we're doing today. And when you've heard all the evidence, and you've heard the law, I will ask you to find Brian Camp guilty of manslaughter. Thank you.
Thank you. Very good, Jussie.
Thank you very much.
And here is the defense opening, and there's the defendant. If you're not looking at your screen, take a look at this defendant, 23 years old, Brian Camp.
Mr. Gagne was using hands a few times in his opening, and though nothing that we say is evidence, it is telling. Starting with Mr. Camp taking things into his own hands. Mr. Camp was essentially, as outlined by Attorney Gagne, and as I want to add actual facts that actually happened, was by himself in this situation for 19 minutes and something seconds in Chesterfield by himself. The 911 call, we expect the evidence to show, was placed around 12:37 and some change. I believe that's what the evidence is going to show. Nobody shows up for 20 minutes. Mr. Letendre is in that house. And Mr. Camp, the evidence is going to show, was in this situation with two girls, 2 years old, 4 years old, in one bedroom upstairs, and Brooke, who essentially winds up outside on the 911 call. And this guy in his house for that long. And I ask you, just for the record, Attorney Gagne placed his hand over his head like this, assuming that Mr. Letendre was shielding his head. You're going to see that Mr. Letendre had some injuries to his head prior to any shots. But this is the position of his hand and his body lying on his stomach at that point. That is not the position that he was found in when police finally arrived. That's very important with regard to what was going on in the kitchen after that certain period of time. You're going to hear from the medical examiner who's going to talk about 750 milliliters of 750 milliliters of blood in the left-hand side. And I believe, far from being a doctor, we're going to hear the term hemorrhagic shock, and that Mr. Letendre, at that point, 750 milliliters, was at, I think, between level 1 and level 2, hemorrhagic shock. And the doctor says, that means he was in a lot of pain, sure, but he wasn't dead, and he was able to move, and he was able certainly to talk. You're going to hear about the injury to the liver. You'll hear that Commonwealth's doctor opined that damage to the liver did not strike any major arteries or veins. And you're going to hear from that doctor, I assume directly, and if not, concerning testimony that he has given prior about Mr. Letendre's ability to move and talk, say things and do things, which is why it's important, ladies and gentlemen, when you see the difference between where Mr. Letendre's hand is on his head from the photograph that Brian Camp took. I also want you to pay attention, please, remembering how Mr. Gagne says this photograph was taken. And by the way, there was a photograph taken of Mr. Letendre at one point. At the same time, there were photographs taken of his room by Mr. Camp, of the girl's door by Mr. Camp. Because of course, the evidence is going to show the police are about to arrive, right? On December 26th, 2022, Mr. Camp and Ms. Brooke were not on again, off again. Mr. Camp and Ms. Janet had 2 kids together. And yet, because apparently their relationship was supposed to be perfect, there was this break. From February 2022 to, not quite sure what the evidence will show, but something in the ballpark of May, June, where they each went their separate ways. But in the evening hours of December 26th, 2022, after making spaghetti and meatballs for Ava, 2 years old, and Alea, 4 years old, and giving them a bath and putting them to bed in a room that shortly before Mr. Letendre decided to break into this house and obviously do something very bad to someone. Shortly before this day, they had switched bedrooms. So as you go up the stairs, the evidence is going to show, through photographic evidence and I think testimony, of this house, Brian and Brooke were in the left bedroom, and the 2 little girls were in the right bedroom, and straight ahead was the bathroom. A couple of weeks beforehand, it was switched. The little girls were in the room on the left, and Brian and Brooke were staying in the room on the right. But on this night, they put the girls to bed in that room on the right-hand side, did whatever they did, and went to bed in the left-hand room, the day after Christmas. Not exactly sure what time that was, but at some point, Brian, who was sleeping for a period of time, naked, is kind of woken up by Brooke. Brooke hears something. And something to the effect of Brian's like, yeah, the cats are outside. He tries to go back to sleep. They're both in their bed. It is 12:30 something. Pitch dark. And Brian is then woken up for real when he hears a scream from Brooke. And when he gets up, sees essentially a form, sees Brooke kind of jump back from the doorway, and sees the form of a guy who winds up being Mr. Letendre in his bedroom at 12:30, probably 5 or so. And there he is naked, girlfriend screaming, 2 little girls across the hall, and Johnathan Letendre, who you'll hear, I think, from the medical examiner, who was 6 feet tall, 190 pounds, jumps on top of Brian Camp on his bed, grabs him by the throat, and starts smashing his head into the wall next to the bed. You're gonna see a photograph, ladies and gentlemen, of that wall with about a head-sized hole in the casket. Brooke is in the room at that point. We expect the evidence to show, standing there. This is happening to Mr. Camp in his bed. He's being choked and his head slammed. We expect the evidence to show that Brian yells, "Do something!" And Brooke picks up something with glass and smashes him over the head, smashes Letendre over the head. We expect the evidence to show that bleeding starts at that point of Mr. Letendre. Does that stop him? The evidence is going to say, is he going to show you, no, that doesn't stop Mr. Letendre. The evidence is going to show that he was there for a purpose, and smashing over the head was not going to stop him. And so what that did do, we expect the evidence to show, is it gave Brian a split second in that situation where Letendre sort of loosens the grip and makes it possible for Brian to get out. Brian actually, at this point, is able to position himself behind, as you heard Attorney Gagne talking about a chokehold, is actually able to at this point, and we believe at this point, Brooke is out of the room and heads downstairs and is now talking downstairs. No police show up here. Brian is actually able to get behind Letendre, who is big enough that Brian is sort of riding his back off the ground, trying to choke him, and actually gets a hold on him, and the two of them actually fall down. You'll see in the bedroom where this happened, where this started, there's some linoleum over here. There's linoleum on the floor, and the two of them fall in that area, and you'll see blood in that area where Brian is trying to end this. But Letendre, being who he was and what he was doing, was punching backwards and was actually looking for Brian's eyes, and actually stuck a finger into Brian's eyeball so deep that caused Brian to let go. And Brian runs downstairs. And you'll hear, ladies and gentlemen, he runs downstairs, and I'm not sure that was a critique from the Commonwealth about the two girls being up in the room. But there's a reason why Brian runs downstairs, and you'll hear why. He runs downstairs naked with Letendre's blood on him, and runs downstairs, and you heard Attorney Gagne talk about a muzzleloader. At which point he runs downstairs, sees the muzzleloader, and you're going to hear, ladies and gentlemen, that as Brian is backing away from the door. Now, when you come down the stairs, the door to the house is right over there. And for the record, I'm pointing to my left and your right. And I suggest it was open. And Brian grabs this muzzleloader, and it actually looks, you'll see, it actually looks pretty modern for a muzzleloader. It's a black powder type of hunting gun. And you'll hear that on the 911 call, you'll hear somebody say, "Get the fuck out!" That wasn't Letendre. And Letendre doesn't. Letendre comes towards Brian with the gun. And you heard Attorney Gagne say that there was a wrestling match over the gun. Brian was able to get rid of the primer, which would have disarmed him. But rather than go out the open door, we expect the evidence to show he came forward toward Brian with the gun in his hand and took the gun, essentially removed it out of his hand. They fought over the gun. Brian lost that fight. The gun wasn't stopping. That gun actually gets pushed over to the side, and you'll see, I expect the evidence to show the Commonwealth will introduce some photographs of that gun sort of upside down, leaning on the wall of the porch outside. You're going to hear Brooks say in the 911 call that, as Attorney Gagnon said, Brian's got him on the ground. Brian's got him on the ground. So Brian again at that point sounds like an advantage. However, you're going to hear Brooke again in the 911 call say, I'm going outside. Johnathan got up. Johnathan was able to escape again. And interestingly, you're going to hear, ladies and gentlemen, that Johnathan, whose head was bleeding, we expect, maneuvers his way up onto the couch where I believe Attorney Gagnon talked about Jonathan's jacket was found. And by the way, Jonathan's jacket wasn't found by police. They missed that. Jonathan's jacket was found by another employee of Dunkin' Donuts who recognized it. And inside that jacket was a knife. And that fight near the couch wound up on the couch. Johnathan on the couch. Brian trying to control him and not being able to do that. We expect you're going to see that there's a big blood stain on the back cushion right next to the plaid jacket that had the knife in it. Brian loses control of that. Second firearm, you're going to hear that the dilapidated firearm Brian tries to use to get him to get out of the house again. Get out. And fire it. Letendre approaches again. Doesn't go away. Moves forward and grabs the barrel of the gun. At which point, the barrel of the gun breaks off of the shotgun. And we expect the evidence to show that at that point, they're swinging at each other. Brian has the stock, Letendre has the barrel, and they wind up into the kitchen where the stock breaks that Brian is using. And at that point, I suggest to you, ladies and gentlemen, Brian starts retreating again. He's in his house. He doesn't have to do that. And he shot. Shoots him in the side. And the ME's medical examiner's testimony about that injury is very important. Because it was the only thing that may have been debilitating, we expect the evidence to show, the doctor to say. The only thing that would have been debilitating would have been the pain. But that he was able to move around. And you're going to see, ladies and gentlemen, that the photograph that was taken by my client of the Letendre, her gagging came up and it seemed like it was right here. It was from distance. For a reason. Because at that point he had his hand over his head. And from a distance, he took a picture of it. And then he took a picture of the rope. And then he took a picture of that. And then he took a picture of himself in his bedroom. I'm going to ask, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to hear as Attorney Gagnon stated, and as you'll hear in the 911, after this first shot, one would think that, okay, this is over. The police are certainly going to be here soon, right? Like, please? That's not what happened. I'm going to ask you, ladies and gentlemen, well, to pay attention to the entire 911 recording. But starting with around 12:40, That's the time that I've got on my notes. Around the 12-minute 40-second mark, if it changes with whatever the 911 recording is that we hear, the dispatcher starts asking about what's going on with Johnathan right now. Her focus is then on Johnathan. And that's important because, ladies and gentlemen, despite what the Commonwealth has said or is insinuating, Mr. Camp did not want to be in that kitchen with that guy at that time. But because of what was going on, the focus of the dispatcher, he was, and you're going to hear, ladies and gentlemen, that, and you're going to see, I expect, that certainly Mr. Letendre was able to move, was moving. And you're going to see, ladies and gentlemen, that that barrel of the gun was right next to him on the floor still. And that there was a firearm right above him. I believe it is a revolver. And that Mr. Camp, after all of this, believed that he needed to shoot again because he needed to stop this thing because it clearly was not stopping. And it's important, ladies and gentlemen, as well. You heard, I believe, when the judge read the synopsis of what this case is about. It's not to the back of his head. It's to the top of his head. That's also important. And the trajectory of the second shot is also important with regard to downward, left to right, and forward. And most importantly is looking at the photograph that apparently the Commonwealth is going to be introducing.
I can't change the speed because it's on Core TV's website. They don't give me that option. That's why the sound is so crappy. And I feel like we're in a high school auditorium and someone's going to burst through the curtains and start singing. I just wanted to play this for you as a little teaser to see if this is a trial you'd be interested in watching, because this only started 2 days ago. There's no coverage of it. The only little coverage there is on the Core TV website, which, if you want to cover it, I'm happy to prepare some stuff and then come back later and continue. I don't think there's much left. Let me just check. Yeah, we're almost at the end. Oh, wait.
That my client took.
Sorry.
That my client took, by the way, at that point, knowing police were coming, hoping police were coming, and weren't there. Eventually they got there. Compare that photograph to the photograph of how Mr. Letendre was found when police finally arrived. Finally arrived. When you see all of that evidence and hear all of that evidence, ladies and gentlemen, I expect I'm going to be asking you at the end of this trial to find that my client properly used force, a force that needed to be used after retreating twice, after having control twice and not being able to sustain it from a guy he did not know, who was bigger than he was and clearly was there for a particular reason. And with regard to the statement that my client gave to the police, Mr. Gagne sort of, this is nothing to sugarcoat here, but he did sugarcoat a little bit the conditions under which Mr. Camp gave the statement to Trooper O'Brien and I think another trooper after what had just happened, and that he was banged up. Interestingly, at the end of the 911 call. The dispatcher says to Brooke, did he shoot him again? And you can't hear Brian. She asks him, did you shoot him again? And he says to the police who aren't there yet, yes. Thank you.
Okay. Readjust your volume, please, as I readjust mine. Okay, so we're here. We pivoted. And we watched the opening statements in this Massachusetts versus Bryan Camp trial. Breaking news just now. Thank you, Suze. Jussie Smollett's conviction was just overturned. Okay. Jussie Smollett's conviction was just overturned by the Illinois Supreme Court. We've got everything today. We've got it all. This is like a smorgasbord of law tube. It's a smorgasbord. We're all here for it. Do you remember Jussie Smollett? Anyone? The Illinois Supreme Court overturned Jussie Smollett's hate crime hoax conviction today. Today, we resolve a question about the state's responsibility to honor the agreements it makes with the defendants. Remember, they agreed not to prosecute him. The court wrote in documents obtained by Fox News Digital, specifically, we address whether a dismissal of a case by no pros allows the state to bring a second prosecution when the dismissal was entered as part of an agreement with the defendant and the defendant has performed his part of the bargain. We hold that a second prosecution under these circumstances is a due process violation, and we therefore reverse defendant's conviction. Well, what about if a jury is not asked in a multi-count indictment whether or not they are a hung jury on all counts? What about that? Isn't that a question that could make its way to the Supreme Court, right? I don't know. Could be good for Karen Reed in some alternate universe, maybe. This is a developing story. Check back for updates. Thank you, Suze, for the breaking news. So because they had an agreement not to prosecute him, the Illinois Supreme Court threw it out and said, yep, double jeopardy. Sorry, can't do that. We have to uphold the agreement that the DA made with him. Interesting, right? Interesting. Hi, Team Brittany. It's deeper than making it seem. Remember, he lied and said it was a hate crime, and then it turned out that he hired those two brothers to assault him and make it look like a hate crime? That was crazy. Jussie Smollett. Okay. Oh, damn. I'm out of recording space on my StreamYard, and I did not delete like a whole bunch of stuff. So I don't know if I can cut the stream that we just did into two parts and like put the opening statements separately from the Aidan Kearney thing. I'm going to try and do that. If you guys would like, we can come back later, a little bit later. I just have to break for like an hour and see if I can find any more coverage of this trial. So just make sure you have notifications set. This is the Bryan Camp trial out of Hampshire County, Massachusetts. I am very interested in this, and I want to thank Elizabeth for sending this to me because I never would have found it without Elizabeth's email, who said to me, please cover this because nobody even knows that this is going on in Massachusetts. She says, please look into this case. A self-defense case charges manslaughter. Bryan Camp should not be charged at all. So thank you, Elizabeth, for pointing that out. And then, of course, since I don't do the cesspool of Twitter, my friends, you'll have to share it out to let people know what it's about, let people know to come and watch it, get us a nice, we like our group. We're like 3,400 right now. This is a nice group. But I think this needs a little more press, a little more action. I don't know if this little little. He's like 23 years old. He's little. If this guy should be on, he's protecting his family. He got two children sleeping upstairs, 2 and 4 years old. He's with his girlfriend, some guy she dated over a year ago when they were on a break, breaks into the house with handcuffs and a decorative knife in his pocket. And he wakes up to this guy choking him and he shoots him. And then like how long did they say it took the cops to show up in Chesterfield? I mean, the 911 call alone was like 20 minutes. So this is interesting to me, although I don't know how much coverage we can find of it, or if maybe there's a local news channel that's streaming the entire trial. But I mean, there seems to be some stuff here on Court TV that we can watch, and there's summaries, but you know, that's never. Oh, we might have some like interrogation video here. I don't know if that the openings is the only thing so far that's on tape. So let me do a little due diligence on this. Just wanted to put my finger on your pulse and see if you like it, and if you want to talk about it, and if we can get any yeah, the local courts might have a stream. Thank you, Miku. That's a great idea. See if I can get it on the Zoom. Come on and Zoom. You know, that's really funny. That ironically that was in Boston, Mass. 02134. Send it to Zoom. He's a baby. Transparency is a must. A knife with a fancy handle is still a knife. Yeah. It can still kill someone. And it was a shotgun that he used, by the way, which a lot of people have in Massachusetts. It wasn't like the guy had like an AK-47 under his mattress, which a lot of people apparently do also. So, yeah, let's do that. Set your notifications, set the bell, do the YouTube courtesy things. And if you're just tuning in and you were disappointed that we didn't cover the Aidan Kearney case during the time that you showed up 2.5 hours late, just know that we were on hold with the Dedham District Court for hours, and the hearing was first pushed to 9:30, and then our leader never picked up the call. They never answered the call. So we watched Tom CPU and Boston Mike outside the courthouse, and Turtleboy's case has been adjourned. So really it was all that to just adjourn it to December 17th for a Rule 17 motion for all the cell phones of all the players in that case, the Lindsay Gattani case. And then also in Superior Court, there's a December 2nd hearing for one of the other Turtleboy cases. And then, of course, next Tuesday, we have the Karen Reed Rule 17 motions at 10 a.m. We're going to cover that live. That's the 26th. Also supposed to happen on Monday is the Menendez reconsideration petition in LA Superior. I don't think they're going to have cameras in the courtrooms because it's LA, but I have the petition. We can go over that prior if you would like. Next week is Thanksgiving. Oh my God, I got to get a turkey. Well, I can't buy it yet because I like to get a fresh turkey. And then tomorrow is Richard Schiffer is in court tomorrow. I don't know if there's going to be a Zoom feed for that. If it's going to be a call-in thing. I don't know who's covering it. I don't know. Ellen Greenberg, for the love of the traveling Mary Law Junkie, really? I brought the comment up once. I'll bring it up again. I'll talk about Ellen Greenberg, okay? But it's not on trial like a lot of stuff that I do. And I love you. I'm not mad at you. I love you. But you've said it 400 times. I saw it. I'm still addressing some of the comments that I haven't addressed yet. I'm just trying to recap for everybody, okay? Ellen Greenberg's case is not something that is time sensitive on trial happening exactly at this moment. I have collected a lot of research on Ellen Greenberg. I promise you, I will cover it. There's nothing happening that is time sensitive right now. And I try to do the time sensitive things and the hearings that are going on like today to do that. So yes, I will look into Ellen Greenberg, but it's not going to be today. So thank you for that. And there are some other things that I need to bring up here. Again, prayers up for Cindy in your surgery this afternoon. Have a really, really, really nice nap. And I did put this up before, and I was going to put it up again, Law Junkie. Thank you for the $2. I will investigate the Ellen Greenberg case. I have been investigating it, but other stuff just keeps coming up. She did not stab herself, however many times they're saying it was a suicide. Good morning, Cal. Thank you, Susie Costello, for your super sticker. Thank you, Glamassus, for breaking the news on Jussie Smollett. Zezlex, thanks for the 10. I just caught up now on 2 times, and I saw you're going to go over the take care of my appeal. Just wanted to let you know it's CRPS Awareness Month. Oh, good. CRPS Awareness Month. So thank you for telling us that. Love what I do and how you do it. Thank you for being you. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. And Catherine became a member. Welcome. And Joseph Kane gifting 2 memberships. Thank you, Joseph. And to those of you who were so graciously gifted by Joseph, welcome, welcome, welcome. So tomorrow is Richard Schiffer. I don't know if anybody's covering it. Let me know. And also Dave Matthews tomorrow at Madison Square Garden. So that is amazing. So that is where we stand for today. Thank you to the moderators. If I'm able to pull some stuff together, maybe for later on, make sure you have the bell set and just keep checking back so that if there's more stuff that we can do on Brian Camp, we will. All right. So thanks, moderators, for keeping it, classy. I know that last night was kind of rough. There was a little bit trolly, crazy people sending emails and commenting and like doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And I'm sure that if you timed them out, it was for a reason, because I back you 100%, as I should and always will. Smash the like button on your way out and, do the things and stuff that YouTube likes. I know you know how to do that. Stay cool, stay kind, stay classy. You guys, it's really not hard. Really, it is so not hard. There's a lot of people out there that don't know how to do it, but I know that you guys know how to do it. All right. It was so great spending my morning with you. I'll probably see you in a little bit. Peace.